And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We're back for another episode. Thank y'all so much for tapping in with us today. We're going to have a good one tonight. We got a good one planned for you. First things first, I want to say thank you to the countless of you all who's hopped into the best live chat on the internet. You jumped in already. Thank you so much for doing so. Thank you so much for hitting that like button and telling me what number you are. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for hopping in for sure. What I want to do real quick before Candace comes on, because what we got a lot of, she gives a lot of information, man, that we got to deal with. So TPUSA, maybe against my better judgment, I don't know. I got a feel for this. I got to get a feeling for this. TPUSA has responded to one of her claims, the whole claim about Mikey yesterday. Remember that? And I propose and I theorize that the reason she's picking on Mikey is she wants somebody is going to respond. She needs somebody to break the fold, break out of the formation and do their own separate thing. That's what she's really betting on against all common sense. So the reason she called out Mikey yesterday was really because he's chief of staff. I didn't think about that. Like, he has a really serious position with TPUSA and working for Charlie. So it wasn't just that it's just an average Joe or average Jane. She really needs him to break rank and say something. Now, TPUSA, they responded and they spoke about this today. I'm a little conflicted, so I'm going to bring it in. We're going to look at it. And I want to see what y'all think about it, because I think the answer makes sense. And I'm going to tell you a story first to help you all set the stage. So I'm a former classroom teacher, and you all know that. And one of the things that is a big deal is making sure that every one of your children go home safe. That's a big deal in education. You don't want to be the teacher who lost a child, or a child gets, something happens to a student. Okay. So one of my things early on in my teaching career, I had a classmate who went through the educational program with me, who, I'm not going to say how, they lost a child. As they were teaching, a child didn't go home one night, and that devastated her. And I swore, I was already pretty serious, but I swore I will never, every child's going home. Every child's going home. So every year you got more and more involved. So you would have fire drills and you'd have tornado drills. And fire drills, tornado drills, then active shooter drills. Fire drills, tornado drills, active shooter, and school lockdown drills. And all these drills. But there's a very simple rule in my class. It's extremely serious. If the alarm goes off, you put your hands down. I don't care what you're doing. You put your hands down and you look at me. That's all you got to do. That's all you have to do as a 6, 7, rising 8-year-old. Because if you do that, I'm going to do my very best to make sure you go home tonight. All you got to do is stop and look at me. And it's funny because, of course, that was my protocol from after my second year teaching. That was it. That was my protocol. And one day we had a parent in the building while a fire drill happened. And of course, the fire drill goes off, the alarm goes off, and they're loud and it's chaotic. You can really get out of sorts. And that parent jumped up and wanted to go for the door. And she grabbed her child's hand because she had been sitting in class, and she grabbed the child's hand to go. And the child pulled her hand back and said, "No, keep an eye on him. He's going to make sure we get home." And that was the best. I thought that was the best thing ever. And that parent sat down and I made sure they all got home. By God's grace, I've never had a fire drill. I never had a real fire. I've never had a true active shooter in the building. I've never had any of those major catastrophes that it's terrifying. I wouldn't want to be in that position. But I had always that was something I was really serious about. Your child is going to come home to you as much as I can make sure of it. Now, of course, there's certain things that are outside of my control. I used to work south over by the airport, and literally Delta's flight path was right over our school building. So there's many a day you're like, man, is the thing coming down on our building? I wouldn't have been able to do anything with that, right? There's nothing I could have done. But as much as power within me, I'm going to make sure your child goes home. Now, why am I telling you that story? Because I'm looking at this video that Candace showed yesterday, and knowing and understanding and hearing what TPUSA said about the event, and knowing that this event was, of course, unplanned. You could never plan for it. You have no idea what to expect for it. But to know that these men and those women and those persons involved at TPUSA and such like that knew what their jobs were. Why would somebody want to do something different if they know that the person, the security team, they have a job? You know they're going to do their job. Why am I going to try to insert myself as if I'm going to add value to it when in fact I can't? I'm going to let them do their job. And, you know, maybe I would have thought that Charlie would have got home safely, but sadly, Charlie didn't. So thank y'all so much. We're going to look at this video that TPUSA did. Let me know what you think. I'm a little bit conflicted, but I want to hear your thoughts in the chat, of course. Thank you all so much for being a part of the best live chat on the internet. There's 163 of y'all in here. Wow. Thank y'all so much for that. I really appreciate it. And let's go.
We got to do a little addressing of a video that went viral this weekend. And it's a video of Charlie's chief of staff. We made the decision that we wanted to address this head on because, you know, candidly, there's so much intrigue, and I'm gonna do a generous thing. The intrigue is because people care about Charlie. Okay, so that part I understand.
You're more generous than I'd be.
Yes, and that's fine. And I am going to give you the floor here now, Blake, because you were there and you actually interacted with Mikey. You were with Mikey. You left the scene and then connected with Mikey. So explain what the video is.
All right, I'm not going to
set the scene.
I'm not going to wallow in it at length, but people have. It's gone viral and people have asked us to address it, and we're going to do so briefly. The video, without going way into it, is by, I can't even remember the guy's name. Someone made a video that is attacking Mikey, Charlie's friend, Charlie's chief of staff, a guy all of us know, a guy who we've seen on the show here the last few weeks. They are attacking him, claiming, based on a few seconds of clips, that he allegedly has like a nonchalant or calm reaction to Charlie's murder. And I'm just going to be blunt about this. This is a extremely disgusting attack. And I can speak to that because I was there when it happened and I was next to Mikey when it happened. And what I can say is, I can't say every single thing that happened, but I want to talk about this specific narrow thing. That
real quick, that's how you know that they're under gag order, because he's saying something. He's telling you something without saying something. I can't say every single thing. You know what he means, because they're under gag order. So I just want you to remember that.
The shooting occurs. I am next to Mikey. Both of us hear a loud crack. We both turn. We both see Charlie, who has been shot. Both of us, I think at about the same time, realize that that means there is a shooter who is on the scene. And, you know, you just hear the crack, so you don't know, did it come from far away? Did it come from close? Is there a mass shooter unfolding right now? So I and him both had the reaction of, let's get out of here before we're both shot. That is not us abandoning Charlie. Charlie had a security team. They all leapt immediately into action, and they got Charlie out of there, which was what their job was to do. My job was not to get in the way and screw this up because, like, I had to be a hero. That was not my job. I remember even running past, both of us going past the SUV that we came in on, and me thinking, should I get in that car? And then thinking, no, that's a really stupid thing to do. And then I kept going. So I was not with Mikey, or I don't remember being with him. I think I was ahead of him as we left. And then we get out, and I run for, can't have been more than 15 or 20 seconds. And then I realized there hasn't been another shot, so the shooter has likely been detained or stopped or something, not in immediate danger. I pause, I look around me, and I see Mikey. And I see Mikey there. And truthfully, I will never forget what I saw, because I've seen Mikey almost every day for the past 2 years. I know his personality very well. He's a very bubbly guy. He's a very happy guy almost all of the time. And I'll never forget what I saw, because it was clear in the moment that he was profoundly freaked out. What I'll always remember is the way his lip was quivering, which I'd never seen before. And you very rarely see from someone that he was freaking out. And then I think he literally said to me, I might be imagining this, but I think what he literally said was, then he was looking around, and then he says, I need to call Erica. And then he takes his phone and he begins calling Erica. And I don't want to disclose how that call unfolded, but he did that. Your mind extends all of this, but that is happening within a minute of all of this occurring. I remember he calls Erica. Around the same time, I pull out my phone and I call my mom just to say, Mom, there's been a shooting. You're going to see it on the news. I'm okay. Pray for me. I've got to go. And I remember that call. And around the time I put that phone away, and then he immediately calls his dad. He calls Rob McCoy. And he says, Dad, someone shot Charlie. You need to call all of your pastor friends. Charlie was hit. We need everyone to pray right now. And that's what he told him. And I guess it's very disgusting for me as someone who witnessed this, who saw Mikey hugely distressed and then step up in the moment, because after that call was over, I saw Mikey get total mastery of himself, that he realized he had to step up in this situation. And from that point, he was like a general directing a battle, where he was, grabbing people and saying, okay, we need to get to the hospital and we need to do these things. And you guys need to wait here. I need to get in here to get information so that I can get it to Erica. And when we learned he was dead, he came out and he told us, and then he says, now none of you can say anything that you've heard, because Erica is not going to hear about this from anyone except me.
Can I ask a question? I've just been thrown into this 10 minutes ago, but there's a suggestion online that Mikey, Charlie's chief of staff, one of the most sincere people you'd ever meet, brilliant, Christian, kind, everyone he ever met in his entire life, couldn't hurt a fly, was part of a conspiracy to murder Charlie. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
It's vile. It's utterly vile.
Who would do this? What type of individual? Just to create content, do we think, or is there what's the ulterior?
I don't know. I think a lot of this mindset just sort of fuels itself. It's sort of addictive in the same way a lot of social media stuff is addictive, or in the way honestly something like pornography is addictive or something. Like they get really they almost get a high off of the idea of that they're doing something that's daring or out there.
Yeah, and I want to make one other point though, and this is actually to your point. You saw Mikey do heroic things that day. I saw Mikey do heroic things. I was not on site, but I immediately flew to Utah. We got a plane. I mean, it's not something that I'm used to, but it was my wife went with me. We went straight over. I knew I needed to be with Erica and the team immediately, just because, I just knew. But that moment when I got the news, I was so shell-shocked. I was not even there, but I was immediately traumatized. My brain fries like an egg. I can't see straight. I can't think straight. All I knew is that what's happening. My wife came in. She hugged me. We started crying together, and I can't even remember those moments very clearly. I wasn't even there. Mikey was two
Mike has
steps
talked
away,
about that,
and I asked him. I was like, "Do you even remember the moments after?" He's like, I can't even really remember. I know I called Erica. I know I called my wife. I know I called my dad. I can't even really remember the steps I took. But here's the last thing I want to make a point of. And Charlie had given me similar instructions along the years. He said, if anything ever happens to me, you call Erica.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
And he drilled that into Mikey's brain so that when this moment of trauma happened, that he turned around and he knew he had to do it. And by the way, last thing, because this is part of the video allegations here, is that they're alleging that he was on the phone immediately. He was not. He was taking social videos, which he would send to our group chat, which we would then put on Charlie's social while the event was happening, so you could see the crowd come in or his interactions. And we were only 2 questions into this event, so he was still getting it out to all the chats he needed to do, which he did at every event. He turns around, and it was so blaringly loud, I'm told. You would know this better than I, but this is what I'm told. It was so blaringly loud, and he was so shell-shocked, he put his fingers in his ear, but his phone was still in his hand. He walks away, and not
even walk. I want to, because people are talking about that. The way it was is we had a cordoned off area with grates, so you had controlled access. all the people, when this happens, they all get the idea we should leave before we are shot. And so there's a little narrow gap that I think people, it's not really walking, it's that everyone has to slow up to get through this little narrow choke point to get out of the area. And
anyways, well, the point is he walks briskly. I don't even care if he's walking, running, whatever, because again, the most traumatic thing you could imagine had just happened to him. My brain fried. I cannot imagine what was going through your guys' head being on the scene and seeing it and knowing, again, the security guys are jumping in. He turns and like I'm telling you, Mikey that day turned into a general on a field, marshaling the troops going. But like for a second there, obviously he didn't know what to do. And then he clicked into gear eventually. It was amazing.
Mikey was a heroic figure on that day. And I really want anyone who finds like these narratives attacking him to be remotely credible to really, really stop and think about what you are doing. Because what you are doing is bad and it is gross and it is a choice. And it's a choice you shouldn't make.
All right. So what do y'all think? Should they have responded at all? I think that their answering makes perfect sense because just like when I told you, I have a classmate who had a student that she was responsible for that didn't come home. You just don't know what that does to you. You have no idea what the panic that will set in. So did they do the right thing by addressing it, by giving, explaining, or do you think they should have just left it completely alone and just let it just rot? Tell me what you would have thought. What do you think? But I do want to say thank you. Wow. Thank you to these very kind supers right out the bat. Good gracious. Thank you, Lisa Renee, with the 5150. Bless you. Bless you. I see what you did there with that 5150. Shout out to Corey. Shout out for sure. Thank you so much, HJ Jr. with the 999 pounds. Keep strong, TPUSA. We are praying for you. This is just at the beginning of at the beginning, and good will win. Shout out. Thank you so much for that kind super. And thank you, Doodle Mama, with the $5. Prayers for TPUSA and Charlie's friends and family. I mean, really, for sure. Thank you so much for that. And Carrie coming in, rounding bases. I hear Tyler Robinson's boyfriend is missing. I wonder if Candace is going to spin that one. Give her time. Don't give her ideas, Carrie. Don't give her ideas. She's going to come up with something for sure. All right. So I did not want them to have answered any of these things. I think they should just starve them to death. Like let the comments, just let them rot on the vine. You get no shine. You get no light from us. But they chose to, and it is what it is. So my question is, should they have done this? Do you think that they did the right thing? Do you think they should have, did it create more problems than they solved? Whatever that nature. I want to know. No, candies are not rational. Oh, by the way, candies, shout out to the candies. Please make sure you get up here to the front of the church. We are playing Candace bingo tonight. Yes, we are going to be making fun of Candace still because that's what we do over here because we don't take her seriously. And I don't think anybody should. So real quick, let me bring that in and show y'all my bingo board. If you want to play bingo, the link is down in the description of this video. You can go to my Buy Me a Coffee page and click one of the links and grab yourself a bingo board. It's perfectly free. And we just gonna have fun. I like doing this. And Candies have told me that they don't think it's right that I do this, and it's wrong that I do this. And you know what? I agree. It is wrong that I would listen to you. So therefore, I am not going to listen to you. Let me pull this in real quick. Show you my bingo board. Let's go. Thank you, Mom. Get you out of here. All right, bring my bingo board on, Jason. Let's go. So today I got doc someone. Then I got vibes. I made the correction. The spelling error was on there yesterday. I won't share this yet. My gut. Bees. I have messages. My source. Trust me, bro. I just sense. I feel. This is a real strong feeling bingo board here. I have proof, but betrayal. Free space, of course. Random text. She rolls up with a random text. I'm just asking questions. TPUSA. Call out a random country. Demon possession. Erica. Genericize. That's a word. Shout out to Natalie Denise, who came on the channel who came on the channel this weekend. We went over Candace's testimony, and she came up with the word genericize. I said, I'm going to add it to the bingo board. Anything that she says is super generic, genericize. And then next, that silly statement she makes, I don't know, but I know, whatever. I don't know, but I know, whatever. That's it. If she just comes out and says Israel did it, Jewish donors did it, or any reference to Jewish donors. Best friend and CIA. So this one's got a lot of feeling words on it. Okay. All right. Look, I'm feeling, yesterday I got 6 bingos yesterday. Was it 6 or 5? I don't know. I got a lot of bingos yesterday. My goal is to get blackout bingo. So there we go. We're going to just keep on playing Candy Rot bingo. So shout out to y'all. Thank you so much for tapping in. What's going on? Look at this. Shout out. I appreciate y'all. We got a new member. Shout out to Shauna. Grace has been a new member to the Pod Squad. Welcome to the family, young lady. Welcome. Good to see you. And of course, thank you so much to 3952 with the $10 super about yesterday's text. I get the comparison of Charlie Kirk and Moses. I didn't like it. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't like it, but let's go. But Candace to David doesn't make sense. I didn't get it either. And I felt like it was more like insider baseball. Like you have your own language with your family, right? You got your own language with your college friends, your own language with your coworkers that we wouldn't understand. I didn't get that either. I'm with you there. And if Charlie Kirk was Moses, then shouldn't Candace be Joshua to lead the people into the promised land? I agree. I don't know. Like the David analogy was not clear. It wasn't hitting, but I don't know what Charlie meant. But how about this one? Why was Candace showing it? That's even a better question. Thank you so much for the $10 super. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. And you had another question. Also, David was a man of repentance. Candace, on the other hand, it seems like she is making fake texts to fool people, but it shows that she still doesn't know her Bible. And some people have said this, by the way. Other people have also contested that they think Candace is making up these text messages. I can see it. I totally can see it because the timestamp. Apparently there's supposed to be a timestamp and there's no timestamp on this. So where's the timestamp? I get you. I don't know why she would. Watch this. If she were making up texts, why wouldn't she make them up for sooner? Like instead of them being like 7 years ago, why weren't they 7 months ago? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel you. I just don't know why she would do it. But I wouldn't be doing a lot of this. Let's just tell the truth. I wouldn't be doing a whole lot of what she's doing. But I digress. Let's go. Thank you so much for that $10 super as well. I appreciate it. Okay, what do we have here? This is a good question. I think somebody's asking about why they let her go. I don't know why they let her go. Charlie Kirk was still learning more than being married to his love. Why did she do that? Cruel for a so-called friend. Let's just be honest. Like 95% of the stuff that Candace has been doing since Charlie Kirk passed away is cruel. Like, for example, does anybody realize that she never mentioned Charlie before he died? Before September 10th, there was no references to Charlie Kirk. She was on the Macron train. Remember that? She was getting shellacked by the Macrons, but that's what she was on. She was on some numerology thing in some MK Ultra mind in the MK Ultra summer camp discussion. But she was not talking about Charlie Kirk. And I'll go as far to say, I don't think she had mentioned Charlie Kirk really like she's doing now before he passed away. Once he passes away, she's got all this stuff to say. Like, where was that same energy before? Like, if Charlie had said before he wanted you back on TPUSA, why didn't you mention that? If you were saying that Charlie was having issues with the donors and this, that, and the third, why didn't you mention that before he passed away? Why wasn't he on your show? Why weren't you on his show? Vice versa. Why were you not showing this great high level of brotherly, sisterly camaraderie? Maybe you out boiling bunnies. I don't know. I don't know, no, but I know. Hold on. I got it. Hold on. See, y'all playing with me. Don't play with me because you know what I feel now.
I don't know, but I know. You know? I don't know, but I know.
That's I don't know where that comes from, but I really wish she would stop pretending like that was a cogent thought. That's not a cogent thought. That's not something you want. I'm pretty sure it's probably from a sitcom, and it was meant to be funny, not to be taken seriously. No, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't behave like this at all. Not like this. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. All right, what we got here? Yeah, never. I would never do that. Absolutely. Shout out to the best live chat on the planet. Just going through here, checking out what my peeps are doing. Yeah, this is the link if you want to pick yourself up a bingo board, go grab one. And we'll be giving a look. I want blackout bingo, so I'm going to work hard to make sure you get that bingo. Don't you worry about that. Okay, so let me see here. She says, because if it were 7 months ago, it would be easier to prove or disprove the validity of the text. I mean, at some point, if we really wanted to get into the weeds, there would need to be a corroboration between Charlie's phone data, and Candace's phone and her phone data. There would need to be, I don't think there's any need to, but I'm just saying, and that's why I think the strength is that she's making these stories up, is that nobody can corroborate it. There's no way, without there being like a legal process where you got to get a subpoena to get his phone records from AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, whomever, she knows nobody's going to be able to check her homework. That's why I don't think they ever mention things like DMs or social media posts where you can go back and look at it a little bit more freely and make it a little bit easier to subpoena from Facebook or was it Instagram or what, Meta and such like that. I do think that's why. So there might be some space there in that she's actually making these things up. I don't know. I mean, apparently somebody pointed out that all the text messages that she shows don't have timestamps on them or date stamps. Like, why'd you take the date stamp off? Like, why is that? It seems peculiar to me that you would go above and beyond to take the date stamp off. For what reason? And to me, it just doesn't make sense. But we will find out soon enough, I'm sure. She was on the Macrons. Yeah, she does seem to go from tragedy to tragedy, somehow or another, opposition to opposition, rather than just like, hey, I'm going to do a Bible study. Hey, we're going to do or anything like that. It seems like she's going from big issue to big issue to big issue. Because what was it before Blake Lively? I don't know, but you got my point. Like, I don't think she said anything about TPUSA or Charlie Kirk or the Charlie Kirk show or anything of that nature before Charlie Kirk passed away. Now, I'm sure somebody's going to tell me, oh, well, she said this. She put the T in the P and she said she was in the United States of America. Okay, whatever. But I think you get my point. If she knew that she was going to get asked to come back, then where was that message and messaging and mentioning that prior to Charlie Kirk passing away? All right. Lots of good commentary. I see it looks like family reunion going on. Yeah, she was on Brigitte, and then she was talking about Brigitte was her brother that came to like a MK Ultra summer camp where they had these numbers on, and she was going deep into the weeds about the numbers and them being the numbers for military installations. It was crazy. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of rabbit trail that you're going down. Girl, that's a lot of rabbit trail. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain. And this is interesting too. Think about it. All of the questions that Candace has related to information from TPUSA, doesn't she know the person that runs TPUSA right now? Why doesn't she call Erica and ask Erica for this information to put to bed any questions and such of that nature? Why are you not reaching out to just Erica? I mean, why? You want to see the film from the guy's camera behind you? Why don't you just call Erica? You want to talk to Mikey about whatever? Why don't you just talk to Erica and ask her? It's like, hey, can you put me in touch with Mikey and tell Mikey to hit me back? Like, why not? Like, that would make sense. I mean, you are Charlie Kirk's best friend, and this is Charlie Kirk's wife. Why would you not reach out to his wife and get her to hey, Mikey, call Candace back. Hey, camera dude, can you get that information to Candace? Why not? It just seemed like it would make sense to me. What also makes sense, shout out, is Patricia with the $10 super. Thank you so much, Patricia Rich. She says this, go back to the group chat she shared. I took it as being a sarcastic about bringing, Candace to speak. So I don't believe they were that close. No, most of us, you can read that thing several ways. We looked at it and parsed it out. And I think most of us concluded that it was tongue in cheek. Like, oh, you don't want me to bring Tucker? Hey, I'll bring Candace on. I mean, that's just, to me, it wasn't. And I think we know, and I think Candace knows it's not a slam dunk. That's why she never pushed the issue. She never exacerbated that anymore. Then that she just kind of said, oh, it's there. I made my point and people believe me. Now let me go, which ultimately is what I think she was trying to do. All right. I wonder if the Candies get a lot of pro-Islam ads and videos if they watch and give them a like. That's hilarious and probably true. Hey, what's going on, Amethyst Angel? How are you, friend? Grace and peace to you. Prepping for Women's Bible Study Day 1 through the book of Galatians. I'll have to catch a replay. Ciao for now. Well, thank you so much for stopping through. This is a great question. I wonder what her husband thinks of her love for Charlie. She seems obsessed with him. This is a valid question. Matter of fact, even yesterday when she was talking about coming back from her hiatus, she didn't even talk about her husband. Like, did he go on break with you? Has he been on vacation with you? Did he go with you, him and the kids? Or is it just you? We have no idea. How can you know if you don't know? I don't know. But I know that I don't know. Lots of good commentary. I appreciate you, Lady Luck Club. Y'all shout out Lady Luck Club. Fantastic content creator. She has been over here doing some great work as well. She's been talking about candy. She got the candy game going for sure. Let me just real quick. There we go. All right. We will be watching her live stream. She's starting her live stream at 5:15. I noticed that periodically when things get interesting, she tends to start the live streams later. I don't know why. That's a trend. I can't say I can lock it down and say I know pound for pound, but she just starts them. I mean, she starts her recording later because that's a pre-recorded video. It's not a live. It's a pre-recorded video. All right. Let me just real quick. All right. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for jumping in. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Mikey as a name either, but if it works for them, it works for them. Like, would we have any issue with it under any other circumstance? If we weren't infected by Candace, casting a specter over him. If you just met him at, a cocktail party or at a barbecue and his name is Mikey McCoy. Okay, Mike McCoy. They go by Mikey. It would never have been an issue. Okay. I am just checking through real quick. Yeah, I don't know about this. Real quick. Matter of fact, let me know. Because on my phone, I don't see it as an easy thing to do. I have to intentionally do it. And I have a Galaxy. Can my iPhone people, all the different flavors of iPhone people, is it easy to remove the dates off of your text messages? Like I have to intentionally go in and I'm not able to remove my dates. I would have to go in and like literally take the screenshot and edit the screenshot to get the date off of it. Well, I'm sorry, the time. The date is not. So all my text messages today with my wife are listed as today, but they're not. So each text doesn't have like today's date. Was that October 28th, 2:38 p.m. or something of that nature. So are y'all able to just remove your dates like that? I want to check on mine, but. That reminds me of a classic. The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Interesting. Okay. I can kind of dig that. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's going to be an interesting one today, Village Baby. I'm pretty sure it's going to be interesting, to say the least. Okay, so shout out to somebody who just sent me a picture of their screenshot. So I guess here, I'll pull it in. We'll just look at it. We'll examine it together. Maybe we'll do it like this, Jason. Okay, so all right, so this is a screenshot. Thank you so much for this. This is just a generic. So, I mean, it's got the date right there. I'm only wondering if this looks like somebody's probably sent you a coupon code for, looks like Purina dog food. Okay, cool. If you were having a conversation back and forth, would the date keep showing up on there? Does that make sense? That's my question. So like if you had a third comment or this comment at the top, would that one have a date on it as well? That's what I'm just wondering. It seems like to me, probably no, but okay, somebody said no. Somebody said no. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh gosh, y'all talking about dinner already? Good gracious. I feel like the whole vacation was just setting up for the shenanigans that she's starting up again, maybe faking the text. I mean, you would have to fight to, like, how would you prove that those text messages are not real? Okay, shout out. Shout out. Yeah, so each time you get a message, the date is there. Yeah, I think. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that looks very similar to mine. So I don't think that. So why does Candace's not have dates? Maybe that's a question I should ask. Why does Candace's messages, which by the way, why are you sharing personal messages? But I digress. Why do her messages not have dates? Okay, shout out. Thank you so much to Miss Kiwa with the $5 super. A great video worth watching on YouTube is Bays Declassified. Gets into a lot of this type of stuff. Okay, I will put it on my watch list and I'll check it out. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, everybody who's jumped in. What, 503 of y'all? That's great. Thank you so much. You know, the Candies, make sure y'all get up here to the front of the church. Y'all hit the like button, drop your like number in there. Come on up here to the front of the church because we can make fun. No, we're not going to make fun of them. We're not going to do that. But we are going to be playing Candace Spiracy Bingo. And that's what we're going to be doing. So if you want to play Candy Bingo with us, the bingo board is listed down in the description. I think the moderators have dropped it as well. We're gonna have a good time. I'm looking forward to this. I'm sure it's gonna be a blast. I'm sure of it. I got it. Thank you so much, Ben. Oh, Ben sent me another screenshot. All right, let's look real quick. All right. I appreciate you, brother. This thing is humongous, by the way. Yeah, these dates, man. The dates on there, I think that's a valid question. A lot of people asking about why there's no dates on this. I think there's some room there, man. There's some room for asking that question. Shout out to David as well, who just shot me an email with it. Let me pull this in very quickly so we can see it together. Why do Candace's videos, and this is for the Candies now. Candies, you got to ask your leader, why do your screenshots not have dates and times on them? I mean, why not? Is there a reason why yours don't have dates and times, Candace? Maybe something to ask, reach out to your leader, ask her, hey, Candace, why don't you have dates and times on your videos? I mean, on your screenshots, because everybody else has them. All right, lots of good conversation back and forth. Y'all are going in about this dinner thing. Shout out. I don't know what we're doing for dinner. I don't know. I have no idea tonight. We got Candies in the chat. Shout out to the Candies. Y'all, welcome to the best live chat on the internet. Thank you so much for taking the time to stop on through. So she redacted the information on the text messages. Okay. What incriminating information? If you already said, hey, I'm emailed, this is a text message between me and Lady Luck Club. What information? We already know who it is because we see your smiling avatar at the top, your photo at the top. So what information did she redact and why? What am I going to, and you already said this is I don't know if she ever said how long ago it was, but why would you redact the date and time? But you didn't redact the person. Somebody says old phones from 2018. Oh no, Andrew Colvett did post a response to Ken. I don't think he should. And like I said last night, TPUSA should not punch down. Candace Owens is you're punching down to deal with Candace Owens. Trump, you're punching down. FBI, you're punching down. Just let her keep nipping at your heels. Lots of good conversation going on about this doggone text messages. We're going to figure it out, y'all. We're going to figure it out. My date only changes, or shows when the date clear changes. Okay. On my text, the date is there once the time is there for each text. Yeah, why would she delete or why would she redact the dates? I mean, we know you're getting this text message from Charlie, right? We know that part. That would be more important. I mean, like, what is the date? Why would you redact the date? Just seems interesting to me. Dates don't always show up if there is more from that date before, at least on my phone. When you have the iPhone 14, that I hated and went back to the Android. Come on, shout out after 3 months. I don't know how it worked 7 years ago, though. Yeah. And the fact that it was 7 years ago, I want text messages. If she brings text messages today, I need text messages from 2024 forward. I don't need pre-pandemic text messages. I don't need pre-summer of love text messages. I need text messages from this side of the pandemic. That's what I need. And I think the Candy should ask that from her. Like, why are you not asking that from her? Please, thank you for the $5 super. Gail says this. Please look at Lise Wheeler's last video about Tyler Robinson and his partner explaining a lot of 52 minutes long. Okay. I will, man, y'all keep deluging me. Email it to me. Can you email it to me, please, Gail? And I will make sure to look at it. Maybe it'll be something we do first thing in the morning tomorrow. Maybe we'll just do it, just a bonanza tomorrow. It's the end of the month. I want to get my likes up. Gotta get my likes up. So maybe we'll just do a bonanza. Was my question good? Hey, let me feel good. Like I asked a good question. Okay. Let me run with that. Hold on one second. You don't have dates and times on each text. Really? Okay. So let me ask you this, Red Jacks with a Z. Reds Jacks. So does your text messages look very similar to Candace's, is my question. Or do yours look different? That picture did look suspect. That picture, look, I wouldn't be surprised. Let me say it like this. If it rolled up and they said, no, all that stuff that Candace has been showing has been fake, I won't be the one that says I was shocked, okay? That's what I'm not going to do. Because I'm feeling pretty, I know what you're saying. There's some suspectness. Candace definitely just got the last accusation from Candace to run with. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. Shout out to the Candies. I appreciate them coming into the best live chat on the internet. You know, this is something else I want to talk about. In that clip that we watched, Candace said two things that I just thought were really wild. So I dropped a video from yesterday called Candace Wants War, right? And I dropped it at like 4 o'clock, and then I started this live stream right after that. I thought it was interesting. She says this. She said, liars like to lie first, have to lie first. Who was the first person to bring up all of these conspiracies when Charlie Kirk passed away? Who was it? It was Candace. She was literally the first. She was doing that on Wednesday and definitely on Thursday. She was already weaving and putting together this tapestry of craziness and conspiracy. The first one to mention Israel, Candace. The first one to throw out anything else, inside job, 2 shooters, something, all of that was Candace. And it gave voice to a lot of other people that maybe just have some questions, said something doesn't sound right, which a lot of us said that. Another thing she said was she thought it was foul that Josh Hammer was promoting his book. I'm going to go on a limb and say that was a little bit kind of weird how he did that. But did anybody else find it odd that yesterday she promoted her own book? That was crazy. Like, so Josh Hammer is wrong for saying Charlie Kirk was saying, hey, I like your book and everybody should read your book. And then you pop up with your book and you do the exact same thing. I'm surprised she don't say that Charlie endorsed it. That's crazy work, man. So that was just wild that she did that. And I was like, wait, hold on. Yeah, the dead don't speak. Candace clearly hearing yes. And we're going to talk about that. I have a video talking about that because a lot of you were sharing about, what's the guy's name? Troy Black. And I got some problems with Troy. Troy has a lot of theological problems. But one of the main problems is He just allegedly God speak to him all the time, like a little schoolgirl. He just talks a lot. Like God be talking a lot to you, my guy. That's wild. So we'll talk about it. I got a video dropping. I think it's dropping in the morning. Wait, I want to play bingo, but I don't know how. I mean, clown bingo. Oh, we might change it up some. We might change it up some. Wow, Dublin, Ireland. Everybody, where y'all from? Jump in real quick. Tell me where y'all are from. I am going to real quick open up the door because I hear somebody knocking on my door. 1 second. Tell me where you're from. All right, I'm back. Thank y'all so much. I apologize for that. No, it weren't like pre-trick-or-treaters or anything like that. Okay, what we got here? Let's see what we got. All right. All right. You think Ian Carroll? Really? Okay. If it were Ian, then I'll take responsibility for it. Okay. If I'm wrong, thank you, realtor. I'll apologize then. Well, let me say it like this then. I think even if Ian did do it, most people heard it from Candace. So even if Ian said it first, he didn't have the loudest voice at it. Candace had the loudest voice. Please hit that like button. Thank you so much. All right, what we got? I'm trying to see where we're coming from with these good people. Go make a ham sandwich. Absolutely. It's funny because some people have made this claim that Candace is doing all of this to take any attention off of her own dealings and maybe her own involvement in the deletion of Charlie Kirk. I think that I can kind of see what they're saying. It's kind of, it makes sense. I don't know if I can carry it all the way out to its full logical conclusion, but it makes sense. It's wild work, man. Candace having ads and promoting her book is wild. Go on ahead. Thank you so much. Drop your like number up in this chat. Let me see what we got. All right, where y'all from? Oh, hey, thank you so much for that. Midlands, UK. What illness do Candy's mob have to follow her so blindly? I don't know, but I thank you for the 20-pound super. And that's a great question. I don't know, man. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be. She claims that she wants these people to think, but she won't give them the information to make their own understanding and make their own opinion. That's crazy word. Thank you so much for that very kind super. I appreciate it for sure. We got somebody in Tampa. All right, there we go. I think they're allergic to the truth. There we go. I can take that. I think we can agree with that. I was thinking about it. I don't know if the word manipulation, maybe hypnosis. Maybe she's using hypnosis techniques to get people to buy in. Is that going too far? Which is basically manipulation. But is that going too far to say, man, she's using hypnosis techniques like I'm saying something, but I'm not really saying specifically what I mean? And you come up with this idea and you say, oh, well, Jason said XYZ, but I really didn't say it. I really didn't say that. I gave you a whole bunch. I danced around it a lot. So I'm wondering if that's I think it's a manipulation technique, but I wonder what other kind of thought process that is. Orlando, Florida up in here. There we go. All originally from Brooklyn. She said, I had the Candy's illness, but I recovered. I love it. Well, welcome to the party for sure. I don't know if she really had anything to do with his death, but let me just ask this question. What do we know that Mike McCoy had to do with the death, or Josh Hammer, right? So if that be the case, if we got to look at Josh Hammer and Mike McCoy with the eye of skepticism, can't we look at Candace with the eye of skepticism? Does she have anything to gain from it? I think we might need to look at it. Because, Charlie Kirk was pretty clear about his dislike for Islam and his calling out of Muslims. And it just so happens that Candace's husband, his best friend, is a Muslim. What can we talk about that? Is that not on the table? If I can talk about, the Egyptian pilot and that poor college student that was just walking in the woods and Candace drug him out there, or Phil Lyman, hey, then we got to ask Candace, why is it that you profess to be for helping children, but the Catholic Church constantly has problems? Why are you not talking about that? We have to do that. If we can talk about TPUSA and you got everybody looking at Erica with the eye of skepticism, then we have to do the exact same thing to Candy. All right. Why would Candace have any involvement here is St. George, Utah? I can tell you she has never talked in either of the families, they would never. Let me point out something else I just think is very interesting. Remember yesterday, Candace said that, I showed a video of me at a college campus and it just so happened that I was at UVU and she was sitting on the floor and some guy was holding a sign talking about Charlie Kirk is not your friend. And I'm like, how do we know that was at UVU? How do we know that? Like, what is your evidence and proof that you were at UVU? You just told us that you were at UVU. Is it possible that you weren't there? Maybe you were. Maybe you were at Virginia State. I don't know. So these are the things I wonder why Candies don't ask those questions. And she tries to use these things as proof texts to show that she was involved in something. But ma'am, though it just so happened that you went fishing with Charlie and he hates fishing. It just so happened that you were at UVU and the school that really? That's okay. Can we get a little bit more information before we jump up and down? Just asking questions. Puerto Rico in the building. There we go. In the house, my brother. Good to see you, man. Thank you so much for stopping through from the Puerto Rico. Oh, they say she's using psychology. I can dig that. I can dig that for sure. I can totally dig this too. Number 212, all the way from Buckeye, Arizona, up in there. Yeah, I mean, that's becoming more and more clear day upon day that she's a cult leader. That's no question, no doubt. Like, I am the truth. That's crazy work. I got people in my comment section that are telling me I'm not a Christian because I don't believe in Candace. Like, wait, hold on, wait, what did you say? Did you actually type that on purpose? Have you considered yet if Candace is an MK Ultra experiment subject? You know what? I would make Candace has to prove to us that she's not. The way she does logic, you have to prove to me that you're not something that I'm making up. Like, Candace would have to prove to me that she's not a one eye, one horn, flying purple people eater. That you have to prove to me that you're not. Because I say that you are. And because I say that you are, or I think it's weird that you're wearing the color purple, therefore, and yesterday you had on yellow. So therefore, you must be a one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater. There you go. Prove me wrong. That doesn't work anywhere else except in Candaspiracy land. Buffalo, New York up in the building. I got any Southerners? Where my Southerners at? I need my Southerners to step up, y'all. Where my Southerners at? What's going on? There we go. Frank Turek spoke against Candaspiracy on Mike McCoy today. Really? I don't know, man. I don't know if I would do that. He's too close to the situation. I don't know. It's getting close. It's getting too close. I understand the frustration, though. And I might have to, shoot me an email with it. We don't know, but we don't know. We don't. We just don't. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. He said this is a safe, non-demon space. Praise God. Thank you. I appreciate that. Every day she does that. Every day is a big nothing burger. And she's got to kind of hype it up like it was something. Like, no, I didn't eat anything. No, I didn't eat anything. It's like Stone Soup. Remember that book, Stone Soup? It's like Stone Soup, but like none of the friends come and bring anything. It's just like literally like hot water. Like, okay, you can't even put a tea bag in this thing? Like nothing? We couldn't steep something here? Nothing? Make a broth? Nothing. They said Sally was scorned. Shout out to my story time. That's hilarious. Yeah, she was let go from, and I think that's interesting. She was let go from TPUSA. She tries to frame it as if, oh, we just left on amicable grounds. No, ma'am, you got let go. Dare I say you were fired from TPUSA. That's crazy work. I love the conversation going on in the chat. Thank you so very much. Yeah, like why does she not call out? And I said this yesterday. Okay, fine. I'm gonna let you have the Jews. I'll even let you have the GOP. But who had the most to gain from silencing Charlie Kirk? Like, it doesn't even make sense that Trump would want Charlie Kirk removed when he almost points to Charlie Kirk as one of the reasons why he's president today. So why would he want him deleted? That makes no sense. But like, who else would also probably want Charlie Kirk deleted? She doesn't call out anybody on the left at all. She doesn't call out any of the, I forgot about the little things, the little reactions. She doesn't call out anybody on the left at all. She doesn't call out any of the alphabet mafia. She doesn't call out any of the Antifa crowd. She doesn't call out any of the deviants and perverts running around dressed up as animals. None of them get any strays. All of the strays are directed toward people on the right. Okay. That makes sense to Candace. No passes for Candace. She knows what she's doing. No hypnosis, no divine discernment, no anything but cruel, manipulative, bitter, scorn, woman hate. Wow. Okay, tell me how you really feel about her. Come on up here, Rhonda. Let us know how you really feel. Don't hold anything back. No, I agree with that. I shout out to that for sure. Very keen observation. Thank you so much, Maria. Maria 8273 with the $5 super from Brooklyn, New York, but living in Orlando. But I'm 100% a Republican, Trump supporter, and I love you and your channel. I watch you every day. Well, shout out. Thank you so much for the $5 super. I'm glad to have you. Welcome. I appreciate you for sure. Orlando in the building. I might have to start doing an Orlando shout out. Where my Georgians at? What's I 1917 with the $10 super say? Thank you for the watch party. It's not without risk. I appreciate you. Hey, I just think it's fun, man. I'm like, hey, why not watch it and we could all kind of figure it out together and have some fun and make fun of it. By the way, if you want to play Candace Conspiracy Bingo, go ahead and make sure you got your bingo board. Let me make sure I got mine ready. Mine is ready to go. And periodically throughout the night, I want to make sure we get blackout bingo. So we're going to try our best to get blackout bingo up in here. So make sure you let me know. Periodically, I'll be asking, like, what do you need in order to get you another bingo? Because we want to have as much bingo as possible because we're just here having fun. We're making fun of the situation because you can't take it seriously. If you take Candace Conspiracy seriously, you will be depressed. So therefore, we don't want to take her seriously. We just want to be UVU is Utah time. Yeah, I want to know more about that. Like it just seems interesting to me. If Candace had these receipts, she would show all the evidence to make that receipt valid. For me to say that, hey, I have this cup. By the way, man, I got the ding in it, man. I love these powder coated Yetis, but this one got a ding in it. And man, the paint is starting to chip off, and I'm really sad about that. But un momento, por favor, 1 second. All right. Hey, where am I? Let's try that way. Shout out. All right. I try to say whenever my family calls, I'm going to try to answer the phone. So anyway, appreciate my big girl for giving me a call. All right. And no, she don't want me to come up there for Halloween because she got things planned, she said. She said she's not going to be available. I said, girl, whatever. So I might go up there next weekend. So not this weekend coming up. I might go up next weekend to check on her and see how she's doing. But there we go. At the current moment, her Candace's opening is starting, but it's running late as always. So we'll just give that a second. Oh, here we go. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
All right, you guys. So here's what's going on today. Turning Point USA has issued a statement, a couple of statements, actually. For one, they say the reason that Mikey McCoy walked away so swiftly after Charlie got shot is because Charlie himself told Mikey to do that. Charlie somehow drilled into Mikey McCoy's mind exactly what he should do in that circumstance. Are you buying that? Any buyers of that? I'd like to know, because if there are, I'd like to inform you. Didn't want to say it this way, but I am in fact a Nigerian princess. I am stranded currently on an island. I'm going to need you to send your credit card details right now so I can return home. And if you do, I will transfer you $1 million when I get back to my kingdom. Frank Turek is also being added into the mix. He is telling me, plus other conspiracy theorists, to shut up unless we have the facts. Okay, Frank, challenge accepted. Let's learn some more facts today. Lastly, in case you missed it while I was away, they infiltrated our book club. Our book club has gone viral. My one safe place. I only had one safe space, and it was my book club. And the Zionists are now there. And they say, you guessed it, I am going crazy. Welcome back to Candace.
Well, ma'am, I think that's very interesting. We watched the video, so you all tell me, is that really what they said about Mikey McCoy? About Mike McCoy. I'm going to call him Mike. Here it comes. Let's go.
Today is actually a really important episode. I want you to pay attention, very close attention to what I'm about to share with you. A lot of this is gut instinct. That's what we do here. And I think it will change the way you think about the world. I'm going to start by building upon what we discussed yesterday. I had mentioned to you all, honestly, that something was happening in April of 2018. A lot of things actually were happening in April of 2018. But of course, hindsight is 2020. And I'm going to share some things with you. I don't know what everything means, but I know that it means something. Back when I did my initial tribute video to Charlie, some people took issues theologically when I said that the day that Kanye West tweeted, "I love the way Candace Owens thinks," Charlie and I freaked out because we were convinced that we had somehow manifested that. I'm aware. I've received tons of emails. This goes against Christian doctrine. This was 2018. I was not a Catholic, and I think it's important to discuss that and why we thought we manifested that, because it is extremely relevant to what took place thereafter. I have to explain that moment to you. As I showed you yesterday, Charlie was having a lot of vivid dreams that he said he had.
So real quick, I want to point out something that Candace is showing you a lot here. And I said this yesterday. Go back and watch yesterday's show. Candace is letting you all know that she's very, very bothered by social media content creators that are calling her out, whether they be on X, whether they're doing videos, they're writing blog posts, whatever like that. She is well dialed in to what it is that people are saying because she keeps mentioning it. So she can't say that she's not paying attention because she comments on it all the time. She did it at least 3 times yesterday, and we're not even 2 minutes in and she's already done it here today. I can only imagine before the night's over with how much she's going to call out people just like, content creators. Okay, let's go.
Had throughout his entire life that he was going to die in a really tragic, quick way. But especially in April, he was having vivid dreams that something big was about to happen. This is in the weeks leading up to the tweet, okay? Full stop. Charlie knew, and I felt that we were on the brink of something big. Okay, you have to remember, we were young. I'm a lot older than Charlie. I was Charlie 24 at the time, maybe even 23 years old at the time. And we were doing the Fox News gambit, every show on Fox News. But I was really just focused on BLM, Black Lives Matter. I felt they were lying to Black Americans and it was going to harm us. Neither one of us was very well known at this time. We had just kind of gotten together the November before. And it is just a fact that we were listening to Kanye West music every day. I mean, literally every day, especially the song Power, okay?
What do you think it is in the chat? Why do you think it is that she's really strongly suggesting that Charlie Kirk was listening to Kanye West? Like what? Like why does she's making a lot of hay about that? And she's living in the past. Like, yeah, she's this is a daily occurrence. I mean, you would think they're going to Kanye West concerts all the time because that's all she talks about. Why is that? Like, what is that about? She's obsessed with Kanye. I think that's part of it for sure. It just seems very interesting. When did she become a Protestant before coming to Catholic? I haven't found that testimony. I haven't found it. Now, I did forget there is a video that allegedly she talks about it. I just haven't watched it yet. But at the current moment, it's still up in the air. But let's go.
I was telling Charlie explicitly, we have to get to Kanye West. I can tell by his music. This is what I'm saying to Charlie. I know these lyrics inside and out. This person does not want to be a part of the system. If we can get to Kanye, I think he'll join my Blexit movement. I've got to wake up Black Americans to this scam that they're using our race to control our emotions, which now to me seems so molecular because I see how much bigger the issue is. But I just knew that Kanye West was not a part of the simulation, so to speak, and that the song Power, as Kanye said, is a battle cry to be yourself because of the lyrics. And I have this old text that I'm going to show you from Charlie. This is April 13th, 2018. This is what I said to him, just so you can kind of get.
Okay, I'm not saying that Candace Owens be tapped into what I'm doing over here on the channel, but you notice now she wants to explain why these texts are so old. She's setting up a narrative to make you believe that, 2018 was a banner year, it was a red letter year. That's why I'm talking about 2018. Not these are only text messages I got from Charlie because Charlie stopped dealing with me after 2020. He stopped dealing with me. So that's why she's not showing anything newer. She wants to make sure y'all know, like, oh, yeah. This was really good. This was really important. 2018 was a banner year. It was the molecular changeover year that all the things fell in place. Girl, stop playing. Let's go.
The vibe of what was going on. I said, Kanye West writing a philosophy book called Break the Simulation. We need him, Charlie. He is Blexit AF. And Charlie wrote back, I love Kanye. He's my soul brother. I will find a way to him. I promise we have to. It's crazy to look at that and realize that he's about to tweet me. So there was this incredible buildup and we felt this palpable energy, a shifting almost that we kept discussing in all the messages. We're like, something's happening in April. Something's happening.
All right, I got to do it. I got to get vibes, y'all. I got to. She said, just since, I got to take it, man. I got to. Does that qualify as a random text, y'all think? You feel like that's a random text? I got a feeling it's probably going to be another one. I'm going to hold on. She did say TPUSA. She called them out. Did she say no that I know? No? I don't think she said that yet. She hasn't called out a random country yet. Okay. All right. This poor woman, man. This poor woman is sad. Bless her heart. She down bad.
And then on April 16th, Mike Cernovich, you might be familiar with him, he does this series of tweets, having not spoken to me or Charlie about how we were feeling, saying that he was speaking to a lot of his friends who could feel that there was some sort of an energy shift happening. So you imagine, we're like, what? There is something definitely happening here. How could Mike Cernovich randomly be tweeting this series of tweets? It shocked me. So I sent those tweets to Charlie. I'm going to show you that now. These are from Mike Cernovich. He has since deleted these tweets, but you can ask him. He wrote, a change in energy. This is Mike Cernovich. A change in energy which stuns high consciousness people does not mean bad. It simply means that it's cosmic. A paradigm is shifting.
So real quick, I made this point on Sunday that Candace, I think, if I'm not mistaken, when Charlie Kirk met Candace Owens, she was praying to the universe, right? She wasn't a Christian. And I think in my assessment, what we're seeing right here, because she's reading Quranic verses, she's reading all kinds of stuff. She's talking about stuff that is demonstrably not Christian. It just seems interesting to me that she keeps doing this, and it's a steady pattern of I'm doing things, saying things, highlighting things that are not Christian. Something to think about, y'all. Let's finish this up. All right, let's go.
Something is happening and that people get angry at me shows the shift. Why care? The energy manifests itself in different ways. He goes on to say several high consciousness people I've spoken to independently told me about feeling a shift in energy. Something is going on. It happened 2 to 3 weeks ago. I'm not talking politics or elections. It's much bigger. Energy shift. I saw this and I obviously screenshot it. I sent the tweets to, or not screenshot, I just sent the tweets to Charlie. And I said, Charlie, what the F? I had a bad potty mouth in 2018. Going through these tweets, I realized that I don't swear nearly as much or at all anymore.
All right. I've determined that whenever Candace uses profanity, I'm going to give out a word. So I'm going to give you B's. If you have B's on your bingo board, you can have B's. All right. Because whenever she uses profanity, I'm going to translate that into a word for our bingo board. Let's get back to it. Let's go.
And then Charlie said, yup, we felt it too. Remember, I told you the dreams got darker. Again, I'm painting a picture here of what was going on.
You are painting a picture.
We're going to get deeper here on what transpired. On the eve before Kanye West tweeted us, again, we are still in April. This is April 20th, the evening before Kanye West tweets me. Charlie messages me and he says, I'm on a run and I'm blasting Kanye West and we're on the brink of something big and like this is our time. I'm going to show you that tweet. Night before. I'm listening to Kanye and just running my streets. Are you ready for the war that's coming? We're going to fight. We're going to win. They will lose. I said, so exciting. It's our time. He said, yes. And then the next morning, as you can see, I woke up to news of the tweets and I said, please pick up because I was shaking. And then Charlie wrote back and said, I am freaking the F out.
Oh, man, we got another one. Oh, man, freaking the F out. There's 2 of them, actually. I just passed that. There's 2. Oh, man, I got to give y'all 2 words, man. They use a profanity like that up in here. All right, let's go. Let me bring up my bingo board. What word? The first one. All right. I'm going to go with the first one is if you need Israel did it, I'm going to give you that one. All right. Israel did it. The next one, I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to go with trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Because that's just like she just says something and she really doesn't substantiate it. So that's pretty much this whole show, really. But you know what? I'm going to go with that one. Let's go.
When I said to you guys, you had to be there, we were certain we had manifested. It was kind of freaky. That's the right word. We were freaking out going, how is this real? How did we know what is happening right now in the world? And yeah, Kanye sent this now infamous tweet. I love the way Candace Owens thinks. I want you to know this. Everything for Charlie and I changed in a blink of an eye in that moment. And retrospectively, it would never be the same again. It was indeed a paradigm shift. I mentioned to you guys yesterday that I remember that we both watched Scott Adams. I did not know who he was at this time. Again, I was very green and I'm not an overtly political person. So I didn't know who Scott Adams was, but I remember vividly watching him draw on a board and explain to his very many followers that something much bigger had taken place and that people needed to pay attention to this tweet for almost cosmic reasons. Let's take a listen to what Scott Adams said on that day.
What did he tweet? He tweeted, "I like the way Candace Owens thinks." 7 words. And he ripped a hole in reality with 7 words. Because Kanye is supposed to be over here. And Candace is supposed to be over here. And they're not ever supposed to say the other one said something, right? All right? That's not supposed to happen. But Kanye did it anyway. Kanye knows history doesn't repeat. He's not a prisoner of the mind. He knows that the problem is not the solution. Whatever you want to say about Kanye's politics, and I don't even know what his preferred politics would be. I'm not even sure what party he would run for if he ran for president at this point. Whatever else you want to say about him, and I don't know enough about his actual, management skills or political ability, but he did something that you could rarely see. He actually just altered reality. He just made the entire conservative Twitter sphere just go something like this. It's like your head just went, what did I just see? Did I really see this? Now forget about which of these views you like the best. That's not even the story. Forget about whether you think Candace has everything right or everything wrong. That's not the story. The story is that these two people that shouldn't be in the same conversation, in 7 words, Kanye just changed that. And he just freed a lot of people from a mental prison. Kanye, in 7 words, unlocked a mental prison and is bringing you to the golden age.
I look back on that and I find that clip to be really fascinating. And here's what
I find it fascinating too. Shout out, because shout out to Scott Adams. I think it's very fascinating that Candace, no matter what, you trip over yourself, you hightail it and run away from anything that can be biblical and be seen as biblical at all. This dude, what he's talking about is just straight new age. Let's just call it what it is. That's just exactly what Scott Adams is discussing. Candace, why is it that you never talk about, so why is the most important thing not somewhere centered around Christ, somewhere centered around the gospel, making much of Christ or understanding? Because please understand, Charlie Kirk's, the vast majority of his lectures, of his speeches and such like that, were pointing people to God. But the most earth-shattering thing that you can talk about is Kanye West. And Kanye West really glazing you, because Kanye West wasn't shouting out Charlie Kirk. And Scott Adams right there wasn't talking about how Kanye West shifted the atmosphere over Charlie Kirk. He's talking about you. I'm wondering what this video is supposed to be about, Candace.
I would tell you that happened thereafter in short order, because it was definitely something. I believe, and I'm saying this retrospectively, that from that moment onward, Charlie and I were assigned handlers. Okay, this is an expression that Kanye used to say, have a handler. I thought that he was just saying that. I thought that he was referring to just Hollywood. I now very much believe that I have had handlers since 2018, and that things were done intentionally to pull me and Charlie apart. Now I'm going to tell you how I remember it in no particular order, okay? I tweeted back at Kanye and I said, please take a meeting with us. And Before I could hear directly from Kanye's people, I heard from David Horowitz of the Freedom Center. He's the one that first invited me when I was going viral on YouTube to speak at his conference. You should also know that he is the father to Andreessen Horowitz, the one that Bibi Netanyahu is insisting should, or the stepfather to. He wants Andreessen Horowitz to be a part of this group that buys TikTok because, and this is relevant, they think it's important for warfare, psychological warfare in the future. It's relevant. He was very nice in his message to me, said, oh, my son knows Kanye, and I would like to facilitate that meeting. Suddenly they get Eric Weinstein involved, and he reaches out and he pretends that he wants to be a friend to me. He's a bad person. I can tell you that right away. And I learned that very quickly. But at the time, Charlie and I, we were pro-Israel. That's, I think, kind of relevant. And we were just so amazed by the tweet that we thought all of these people, like this was just our moment, as in they really did just want to help. Another player in this was Rick Rubin. Yeah, the big music industry, Rick Rubin, also got into the mix and wanted to facilitate certain meetings. I took it, again, as a sign of help. On the Turning Point USA side, Tyler Boyer, who I could do a whole episode on. It's actually, he's more so relevant that I can't fit him into just one episode. He was with the only person that was with Charlie before. He introduced him to every person that Charlie knows. He starts hiring a bunch of people, telling Charlie that we need to hire bigger and more professional money raisers, PR people like Andrew Cole, that you name it. And it feels like at every moment there were forces that were trying to tell us this is not allowed to happen. Kanye's handlers are telling him, Kanye's got a team of people telling him he's not allowed to be involved in politics. And he's getting angrier and he's getting angrier about that. This is in the time of Kim Kardashian and Kanye. She wanted nothing to do with it, okay? And I've been to their house, and political friends are telling Charlie and I, don't get involved with Kanye because he's crazy. You guys are on a
This is very interesting. If you're a Candy and you tuned in to watch this, or you're the 725 people that are watching this over here, you got to be asking yourself, like the question I just put here, what in the world is this video about? What does this have to do with anything related to Charlie Kirk? I do think that we are reaching, she's reached the pinnacle of Charlie Kirk conspiracy. And now she has to pivot into another realm of conspiracy, bad people, little hat bad people, whatever. What in the world are we watching? What is this?
trajectory. Don't speak to Kanye. It's going to backfire in your face. And I'm like, no, we dreamed this. We want him to be a part of Blexit. Like, this is exactly what we wanted. At the exact same time, I felt, and you have heard the story very many times, Charlie has told it, I have told it, out of nowhere, I got this spiritual pull that I needed to go to the UK. Charlie and I had no business in.
Okay, so, all right, there we go. I'm sorry. All right, we need a spiritual pull, y'all. I'm sorry, because God isn't in that, so I'm just going to make up a bingo word for it. All right, spiritual pull. You know what? I'm going to go with a spiritual pull. That's a doxing someone. All right. If you have doxed someone, you're welcome. This is crazy work, y'all. This is wild. Bless her heart. This poor woman. All right. Green hearts in the chat where you can hear.
In the UK at all. There was no reason for us to go to the UK. There was nothing happening in the UK. I have the messages. I'm like, Charlie, we should go to the UK. I don't know why. I'm getting the vibe. We need to go to the UK. We need to go to the UK. We need to go to the UK. Like, we got to go to London. And we did in the future. But first, dealing with this sort of pressure cooker that kept happening between Kanye, me, Charlie. It was in October, after Kanye had helped me to start designing the logo for Blexit, that Kanye's pressure cooker got too hot. And basically, they told him that he would lose everything, his marriage, this, that, if he didn't abstain from politics after he notoriously went to the White House in the MAGA hat. And he needed to distance from us and, of course, Blexit. And he cracked. I mean, you guys remember this headline. I'm taking you back 2018. Kanye West distances himself from Blexit and Trump. He says, I've been used to spread messages. Kanye never wrote this statement. One of his handlers did, but he said, my eyes are now wide open, and I now realize that I've been used to spread messages that I don't believe in. I am distancing myself from politics and completely focusing on being creative. Now, that was not the most honest interpretation of things, and I reflect on it, and I'm so grateful that I called Mike Cernovich, and I said, like, why is Kanye doing this? Why is he saying this? I have pictures of him standing over the guy, directing him on what he thought was cool with the logo. Like, should I drop them? And Cernovich gave me really sound advice and said, don't. You have no idea what he's going through. And I'm grateful to Cernovich for that, because I now know what Kanye was going through and what that pressure is like. And when they come for your family and come for everything, and it's like, all you have to do is disavow this or disavow that, and everything will go back to normal. So yeah, Kanye, I totally understand it. It makes perfect sense to me why you had to say that. Anyways, I think I was saved. And I look back and I think I was saved by this weird pull that I had to go to the UK. It was...
Okay, I'm sorry. I have no idea what she's talking about. I think she's fried a circuit. I really do think she's fried a circuit. All right, if you need call out random country, if she keeps calling out the UK, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's just do it, okay? You call out random country. Yeah, this is just, what is she talking about? Like, what is the point that she's trying to nail home? And maybe I'm just not smart enough. Maybe I'm not wise enough to understand. But what is she trying to actually, oh no, she lost the plot. I think she did. I feel like the kid that's trying to do like the school report and they didn't write it down, so they're just trying to go from memory and they just kind of lost in their thoughts and then they just start rambling. What does this have to do with anything? Anything. This is wild work. Okay, let's go.
Now I realize an unexpected anomaly. My husband, how I met him, this unplanned trip on nobody's calendar. Nobody was setting it up. I just like, Charlie, get a meeting with whoever, make anything happen. I need to be in the UK. I just think that like something good will happen if we go to the UK. And it's kind of beautiful that the person that Charlie reached out to and said, can you put together just any place for Candace and I to speak at, was John and Arena Mappin, the lone donors who wrote that beautiful letter that has impacted the world, like true friends of Charlie, who stood up and said that what Turning Point USA is doing is wrong. So yeah, we had an event, and obviously I first laid eyes on my husband, and I have told you guys the truth. I looked at him and everyone's like, why'd you get engaged after 18 days? I have never, it's inexplicable. I looked at him and I felt like I had already known him, and it felt exactly like seeing a sigh of relief. Like it felt like a sigh of relief. I was like, I need to go with him. 2 months later, and with that event,
Hold on, because I know exactly where she's going. I know exactly where she's about to go. Okay, if you're in the chat, real quick, what is she about to say? Somebody's already said it earlier. Somebody's already said it. So let me make sure I got this correct, because she's about to say that Erica Kurt is Charlie Kirk's handler. That's what she's about to say. That's what she's about to say. So in a moment, she's about to explain it and tell the story. And she's about to say that Charlie Kurt was being handled by Erica Kurt. That's what she's going to do. So let me ask you the question. Which story sounds more handler-like? You just see a man who's a sigh of relief and you get engaged after 18 days, never having a date, never having romantic text messages back and forth, or Charlie met Erica following a logical courting, dating path, and they got married. Which one sounds more like a handler to you? Watch. I know she's going to do it.
And in London, far behind us. So that was in December that I met my husband, that I convinced Charlie, took his credit card and booked the flights. John and Arena made the event happen. 2 months later in February, something really strange happened. Someone, and I believe it was someone at BuzzFeed, cut a clip of a video from the Q&A portion of that UK event. This is, again, over 2 months later. And they stripped the question that was asked of me. You'll remember the scandal. What I'm about to tell you about this is crazy. Again, I was green, so I didn't understand why suddenly they were sharing a clip and they were saying that I was justifying Hitler, Adolf Hitler, killing Jews. A person asked me, Candace, you describe yourself as a nationalist. That is sometimes a dirty term because people don't like the words nationalism. And I answered by saying, well, that's because they wrongly attributed to Adolf Hitler and he wasn't a nationalist. I didn't even mention Jews at all. I'm going to actually show you what I said. And I was standing next to Charlie when I said it, which is relevant. Take a listen.
Hold on. Why don't you show us the question? Why don't you give us the question that was asked, Candace? Again, like Candace, you are in control of this story because we're all sitting here. We're victims and hostages to your story. Why don't you give us the whole thing? Because all we're doing now is you're starting to talk. Just something to realize. Let's go.
I actually don't have any problems at all with the word nationalism. I think that it gets the definition gets poisoned by elitists that actually want globalism. Globalism is what I don't want. So when you think about, whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. You know, he was a National Socialist, but if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany. He wanted to globalize. He wanted everybody to be German, everybody to be speaking German, everybody to look a different way. That's not, to me, that's not nationalism. In thinking about how it could go bad down the line, I don't really have an issue with nationalism. I really don't. I think that it's okay. It's important to retain your country's identity and to make sure that what's happening here, which I think is incredibly worrisome in terms of the decrease in the birth rate that we're seeing in the UK, is what you kind of want to avoid. So I don't have anything problem. I have no problems with nationalism. It's globalism that I try to avoid.
Now I know that these online campaigns are inorganic and that what actually happened was this was a hit. This was a hit. They pulled the clip and then a bunch of people wrote articles saying that I supported Adolf Hitler and that I said if Hitler had just wanted to make Germany great again, then okay, fine. That's fine. No context again. And it was like a severe cancel culture attack saying that I supported Jews being killed in the Holocaust. It was insane. Again, Charlie and
It's funny because you do actually hold that position now, though. You've actually excused the failed art student of Germany. You've actually said that the Holocaust didn't actually happen, Candace. Why are you even arguing about that? Like you could say, yeah, I hold this position because you do now. You do actually hold that position.
I were very new, and this was very scary. We were kind of coming upon a high point and going, why do people want to destroy us? We don't know what this is. And at the same time, the Simon Wiesenthal Center, and this is, again, another interesting piece of this, issued a statement against my comments. Simon Wiesenthal Center, we're like the official Holocaust people. And this girl is obviously supporting Hitler. It was heavy. It was so heavy. And I laugh in retrospect because I thought it was all real. I didn't realize this was a matrix of people who wanted to pull me and Charlie apart. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to put pressure on him. So donors would pressure him and be like, hey, she's supporting Hitler. It's such a bad look. And then they would find me broken and scared and upset and going, I don't know how Jewish people could think that I would support Hitler. And that's what I was saying. And this amazing thing happened that despite this, that the hand that came out to me and offered me a job was PragerU. PragerU offered me a job. This is early 2019. And it was like, hey, like, we know that you don't believe these things. And at the time, I thought they were just being friends. I don't know what to think anymore. Marissa Straight, the CEO, has never shied from telling people that she is, in the IDF. She worked intelligence in the IDF, right, in Israel. And I took the job with them, and Charlie and I still climbed together, but we were also working apart at the same time. We kept doing the campuses and the campus tours, but I was officially working for PragerU. And one of the first things that happened, almost the way it feels to me, was like, we can save you, but here's what you have to do, was Marissa took me to the Simon Wiesenthal Center. And again, I was so grateful. I was like, who do I have to say sorry to so that they know that I don't hate Jews? This is what happened. I'm telling you, this is what happened in 2019. And there was like some chief rabbi-looking character, and him and her spoke in Hebrew. I didn't understand a word of what was said in front of me.
But you don't know what's said in front of you in Latin either, but you're okay with the Latin Mass. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to say that. What does this got to do with anything? What does this got to do with anything? Like, what is the long story of this, Candace? This sounds like the kid that comes home from school and they really got in trouble and they're the ones that caused the trouble and they're trying to explain to you. And it just seems like, what in the world are we doing?
And then we left.
Let's see if I
and
speed it
everything
up.
was fine. My reputation was restored temporarily. Throughout that time frame thereafter, I'm doing my show. I think my first episode with PragerU was in March. Charlie's still climbing. Turning Point USA, as you know, became a behemoth. I remember speaking at their conferences and saying that they were now running like a military operation. It was so efficient, on time, it was tactical. And I did not realize at that time how prescient that thought would become.
Hold on, wait.
Because as you guys know, in my
Was she was working at Prager? I'm sorry, wait. She was working at TPUSA and then she wasn't? Hold on. How did she get to PragerU? Can somebody drop the? Let me look on Chat GPT. Like, what was her job before PragerU? Okay, let's let this go.
my old age, I have grown increasingly interested in genealogy, because you really start to recognize certain patterns when you look into who people's fathers are, who their grandfathers were, who their great grandfathers were. And the one thing that has shocked me about Charlie and Turning Point USA is just how many military characters were surrounding him. Even in September 10th, people that were in the hospital, right? Let's just take a look at the chart that we have put together. And this is in an early phase, but it's interesting at the very least, okay? We've got Frank Turek. And Frank Turek, if we want to go through this, we got Andrew Colvett, Rob McCoy, Mikey McCoy, Tyler Boyer. Let's start with Frank Turek if we have that card. And Frank Turek, again, has been honest, former officer in the U.S. Navy. And then he turned to Christian apologetics. He has two sons that are in the military, fly planes, as well as one of his son's spouses that's in the military. Again, he's never lied about this. Andrew Colvett, by the way, if you don't know, I didn't know. I don't think Charlie knew. Certainly not when Tyler brought him or when he got hired. His brother, Captain Kurt Colvett, is in the military. His cousin, Captain Robert Colvett, is high up in the military. So that's interesting. Very interesting to me, at least, because I just am like, oh, that's kind of something I was not aware of. I thought he was just a PR guy, someone that was working PR and was found and things, went forward. Obviously, Rob McCoy, another pastor, but a pastor with a very strong military background. Pastor Rob McCoy, his father was a naval captain, Roy Edgar McCoy, but also, and this is kind of shocking, his father was also the assistant chief of staff for psychological warfare in the Navy. Psychological warfare. This is the name of the game. And that trajectory is increasingly interesting to me. I think we have this clip from an investigative journalist named George Webb, who speaks a little bit further about Rob. And obviously, this is Mikey McCoy's family. Take a listen.
McCoy does have this strange military background. He does have this strange, seemingly putting his son in there and guiding the hand for this new apostolic revival. That he is a NAR person. He is kind of the NAR push for Charlie. Charlie was meeting with NAR. NAR were the $25 million and above donors from the Christian right. The Ziklag was the name of the organization. So all that's correct. That's correct information. And
so
what happened in my life?
So Candace worked for TPUSA. If I got this right, she worked for TPUSA, was let go, and then started working at PragerU. Is it not odd that she didn't talk about how she broke ranks with TPUSA and what actually happened in her being removed or being let go or being fired, whatever, from TPUSA? That would seem like that would be something you'd want to talk about. Like, why are you not talking about that? She literally said, I started working at PragerU. But she just had been let go from TPUSA. Yeah, it just seems wild. Yeah, I don't see any, I didn't hear any comment about what happened at TPUSA causing you to leave. Just seems interesting. But we can dig into the deep weeds of military employment or military background, but we can't know why you were let go from TPUSA. That would seem like I would want to know that. You'd want to share that.
After that was I went from PragerU, and you got a pastor, from the military, two pastors from the military there. I'm telling you, Marissa, straight military. I then went to, obviously, the Daily Wire, and the president at the time of the Daily Wire was also a Navy.
How did you end up leaving from PragerU? Like, I'm sorry, if you're going to tell these stories and we're supposed to castigate people because their dad worked for the military, you don't castigate, Tucker Carlson and his dad worked for the CIA. You don't call him out. What about your husband's best friend, Andrew Tate? Like, why are you not calling out? She's just passing this by. Like, oh yeah, I just went to work there. Ma'am, you got let go from PragerU. Dennis Prager wrote a 17-page letter about why he fired you. That's crazy work. That's nasty work. Ma'am, you might want to talk about that.
Evil intelligence officer who decided to become a pastor. That was John Lewis. And I'm like, actually, in retrospect, what are the chances that we just have so many military people that are in media? How organic is this?
Why is that a problem?
Who's the biggest person on YouTube? Right? I just got interested. I started asking questions like, are we in a military simulation? Mr. Beast, both of his parents high up in the military. Do you think he really was just getting trillions and gazillions of views because people wanted to see somebody count to 1 million? Or is that interesting? But also, it might be relevant that his family's military, like high up in the military. Everywhere I looked, every time I was like, well, this person, I got interested.
It does seem weird that she can zero in on, oh, you got retrospect? Oh, wait, let me double check my bingo. Hold on. I got to get bingo. Hold on. Somebody already got bingo. Look, that's not cool. If you got bingo before I got bingo, then I got a problem. Man, I don't got anything on here. I said that sounded like demon possession when she said she got drawn to, I did say that when she went to the UK. But why is the first thing you think about when somebody says that they have a family member in the military, do you think negative and not like, man, military people are very disciplined. Military people make great cops. Military people make great teachers. Why do you immediately go negative? Why not say, oh, you got a lot of people in the military or military background. Maybe that's why TPUSA was running so well, because military people understand order. Maybe you can go with that. Why do you immediately say, oh, there must be something going on? They must be. Why? Like, why is that your first thought? And then next thing is, why is your brain so twisted that you think that thought? Why is it the first thought? And then what's wrong with your brain that is a thought? Crazy work. And she's proud of it. She's big proud of it, y'all. Let's go.
Interested even in Lila Rose, right? Catholic, does this whole, speaks about, she's always been very lovely to me, speaks about the pro-life movement and converted to Catholicism and got a story there. I met her through Marissa. It's kind of the same people funding both. And it was kind of interesting. Like when I would see Lila kind of jump on the attacking the Christ is King or trying to rationalize why we shouldn't say Christ is King all the time. And she was like a lone Catholic that was doing that. And I then got super interested in her when she messaged me about Andrew Tate. And she had someone on her show that was Andrew Tate's, one of the accuser's lawyers. And I was like, this has nothing to do with the pro-life movement. What are you doing? I asked her. And she's like, well. And
this has nothing to do with you. The fact that you can sit here and do however many days worth of content that has nothing to do with you, but then have the audacity to wag your finger at somebody else who's doing something that maybe doesn't apply to them. Ma'am, that's nasty work, ma'am. That is some irony that I don't think science is going to have to study that, because that is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Thank y'all so much for jumping in. There's 800 people watching. Shout out to all of y'all. Y'all, I'm over here streaming on X. I got 32 people on X. If you're an X, please put an X in the chat. Shout out to the Xers. Is that a way? The tweeters. Oh, that's even worse. Let's go with Xers. Shout out to my X's in the X. There we go.
Attacked me and Tucker Carlson. I said, that's weird. Like, that's kind of random. You're supposed to be the pro-life person, and you're talking to Andrew Colvet's the party to that lawsuit. You're talking to her lawyer. Why on your show? Why are you the first show she would pick? Why doesn't she go on like CNN or Fox?
Because she wants to.
Of course. Yeah, you got military all over that background. And I'm going, is anything not military? I'm looking at Barry Weiss and I'm looking into her grandfather, and there's a story that's just incredible. A bomb thrown on at his house, and I think it's in Philly or somewhere, maybe it's Pittsburgh, and that's related to the casinos. I mean, the whole thing starts getting really crazy when you realize everyone's somehow attached to Raytheon, right? Mr. Beast, they're all attached to Raytheon in one way or the other, and I find that to be interesting.
Hold on. You know what? I'm feeling interesting. I'm feeling interesting that I already got random person gets doxxed. How you gonna throw Mr. Beast in there? He ain't do nothing to nobody. He out here trying to build wells somewhere, and you out here calling them out. You know what? I'm going to go with, I just feel like doing it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go with, I have no proof, because she has not shown us anything that actually explains this at all. Just nothing. She just says it. She's telling us a narrative. We're listening to her. Story time with Candace. That's what this should be called. Story time with Candace, because you're not going to actually give us proof to this.
And there's more, by the way. I'm in the early days of research here, and there's a lot more I'm going to present to you guys. But I think we can all acknowledge that we were lied to about the 30-06, right? I know for a fact Charlie's neck was not destroyed.
How did you get there? Like, how do we get back to now Charlie? I thought we were in 2018. Now she done fast forward. Boy, she doing some multiverse of madness up in here. She doing Wrinkle in Time. How did we get to from 2018 to 2025? That's crazy work. Well, hold on now. Hold on now. We don't do that now. No, we don't do that. We don't do that over here. But if you do need to do that, let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and translate that because I know what you feel like. There we go. So if you have to curse, at least let it be something that we benefit from. So I got double bingo right there. We having fun. Shout out. This is crazy work, y'all. It's story time with Candace.
And if I'm lying, sue me for defamation, and you'll learn exactly how I know that. This is what makes Andrew Colbett's tweet explaining the conversation with the surgeon especially interesting. Remember, he's like, oh, and the surgeon said, well, that would have taken down a moose, and but Charlie's neck, he's the man of steel. And people rightly said that's not the job of the surgeon. That's kind of the job of forensics to say that. The medical examiner would be the right person to say that. By the way, who was the medical examiner? Who were the doctors? And any chance they were military? Any chance they were military? I'm just wondering.
Wild.
Here's what I discovered preliminarily. The answer is yes, okay? The doctor who worked on Charlie was Dr. Lee Trotter. And
that poor man.
Dr. Lee Trotter, he did his residency on the Air Force Base.
Right? Oh, my gosh.
Completed residency at the Keesler Air Force Medical Center in Mississippi. I think he actually might be in the Air Force from what I'm looking at. Can't confirm that entirely, but there's a person who matches his name, age, description.
That is amazing.
Who is actually in the Air Force. And he also, for a fact, is a pilot. So it would track that he was in the military. That's interesting. The medical...
We know about the possible medical examiner who looked at Charlie Kirk, but we don't know how you got let go from TPUSA. We don't know how you got let go from PragerU to go to Daily Wire. Why don't you tell us those stories? I think that would be very interesting. Maybe that might help us understand a little bit more about your friendship with Charlie. And I do think it's interesting. Again, notice she told him to sue her. She's going to keep trying to get somebody to respond to her. She's going to keep goading them until somebody responds. Why don't you tell us about your background, Candace, instead of other people's background? How about you tell us about yours and those salacial, juicy bits about your own background that maybe would be very interesting to all of us?
Examiner, Dr. Deidre Smith Amaro, who that would be the appropriate person to have had the conversation with. Also someone that in my dream, Charlie told me I should look into. She's a major in the Army.
Whoa! Charlie told her to look at the doctor? Y'all, come on. Hold on. Y'all, come on now. That's just some crazy work right there. I am going to go with, that's insanity. You know what? I won't share it because she can't share that. So she can't share that. If you need, I won't share that. I won't share yet. I'm going to give it to you. That's crazy work, man. She done put two people out there on Front Street for no reason because she had some bad pizza or needed some Pepto-Bismol. Y'all, that is some nasty work. Wow. Please, Lord. I don't pray that people get sued, but please, Lord, let them sue her into oblivion.
She's also from a major corporation. She's from the Erickson family. The Erickson Boyd Corporation is her family. She tells people that she is a direct descendant of Leif Erikson. This brings us into like Swedish Freemason stuff, okay? And I'm certain she's an Erickson, like 1,000% certain that she's an Erickson. She's also now a lesbian. And I'm thinking, why was she just made a major in the Army?
Why would you put somebody? Wow, please. Y'all, we might have to stretch your hand toward the screen. We got to pray. This woman is just putting that lady out there for no reason. There's no reason to do that to that woman. I did not wake up this morning wondering whether or not this woman was a vegetarian. I did not wake up needing to know that. Why do you need to know this, Candace? What is wrong with your heart? What is wrong with you? Gosh, that is some crazy work.
Why did they need this woman in? Why were people researching these doctors and this specific medical examiner? What the heck is going on? There's more. There's a lot more that I haven't covered, but I'm painting a picture here for you. Okay.
You paint a picture, all right.
I think the military-industrial complex that Eisenhower forewarned of, the military-industrial complex that shot JFK to maintain power, has created a veneer of reality for us, and it is not so, right? We are under a veil. I think that these corporations, people that are put at the head of these corporations and we're told that they're geniuses, or they're just so successful, like Mr. Beast. These are military operations, is what I'm signaling to you guys. So be aware of that. I think
Wow.
This military-industrial complex has had a lot of actors. We have military-grade actors, some of which I think were there when Charlie got shot. Weird behavior from people. The first people to get booked.
Wow. Mr. Beast, like, yo, I'm not even a Mr. Beast fan like that.
Mainstream media.
Dang, Mr. Beast can't even Mr. Beast can't even feed homeless people without catching strays. My gosh.
News organization on that day. Something's not right. There are too many military players that were surrounding Charlie, and they weren't there before 2018. They weren't there until forces were trying to pull me and Charlie apart. And I had it on my heart to share this with you because I think it will help you when you start to look at things and assess people and they tell you he's a genius, and you learn that they have, I don't know, a contract with the Department of Defense.
So anybody that says I have it on my heart, something, you know what they're basically saying? They're saying my gut. And that's it, my gut. So now I got bingo 4 different ways. Yeah, your boy's I'm trying to fool around here and get blackout bingo. Work with your boy. Work with me. This is crazy. This woman, please stretch your hand toward the screen. Put Candace back on here. Stretch your hand toward the screen and pray that these people sue her into oblivion. She just put these people out here on Front Street for no reason, just because air is free. That's craziness.
He might just be a military-grade actor meant to lead a company, because if we all looked up and realized the military owns everything and maybe has owned everything and controlled everything since they shot JFK, well, that wouldn't be a good thing for us to know, right?
But they don't own you, though, right? Let me make sure I got it right. Since the military, quote unquote, owns everything, they don't own you, right, Candace? Let me make sure I got that correct. Because everything means everything unless you mean not everything. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
No, we don't know it,
Oh,
but I kind of know.
there it is.
Lastly, there's something interesting.
We got it
that I
already.
was kind of hesitant to speak about, but I'm going to. I was hesitant to speak about it because I didn't want it to lead to 1,000 conspiracy theories that are just wrong. But
The irony is killing me. I think I'm going to die, y'all. The irony is killing me. Wait. And the fact that the U.S. military or military industrial complex and Mr. Beast are catching strays, but Mecca and Qatar are just free flowing, footloose and fancy free. That's got to be, they're going to write books about that stuff. They're going to write college courses about that.
I'm interested, and I, again, want to caution you, don't spin out of control. I actually want some information because there could be something that I'm missing. I am not from the medical field, okay? But on September 10th, thereafter, as I've been doing these episodes, we had received a flurry of tips from people telling us that Charlie was not at Timpanogos Hospital, but was at UVU Hospital. And I was like, remember there's this whole thing, like, why did they go to Timpanogos? Timpanogos was like a level 3 trauma center when the closer one was UVU. We never really understood why the ambulance wasn't there when it was required by law. He goes into this car. We don't really know. When I say we don't know, as in we have no footage or any indication of the drive or the arrival at Timpanogos. And I thought it was weird that we had people that were saying, I was downstairs at UVU and Charlie was brought in. And I am telling you, he was definitely at this hospital. Somebody else said to me, I was receiving treatment. I don't know if it was cancer treatment downstairs or upstairs. And we knew he was at this hospital. And then somebody came in and announced that Charlie had just died upstairs. It was very strange. And I was like, okay, that's just, people get confused. They may have heard from maybe a nurse, texted a nurse. There's a lot of ways it could have happened. But then we received an email from somebody in the medical staff at UVU saying, I'm certain that he was here, and I have a medical file that we, and the text that we received at 2:08 p.m. saying that we're not allowed to touch the medical file. And here is the entry in the UVU system for Charlie Kirk. It had his right birthday, it had his age, it had an MRN number. And then this individual shared the internal message that went out telling them, that they're not allowed to touch the file. Here it is. Hi, all. There was a media event that took place today that led to a trauma patient.
Wow.
Due to the nature of the situation, the only individuals who will be allowed in the chart will be Deborah and myself. No one else is allowed to hover or open the chart. Jacob, blank. Deb and I will be doing the log tomorrow. Thanks, and let me know if you have any questions. Now, in my mind,
Wow. That woman is vicious. She wants y'all, TPUSA, she wants TPUSA to respond. She wants them to say, I do think that's illegal. Like, that nurse should be losing their job, their license, their certificate, the whole gambit. Yo, this is wild. I'm going to give you my source, but this is making me sad, man. This is crazy. What is wrong with her? Man. Wow. That's nasty work, y'all. That is some.
in my mind, I said maybe the reason for this is these two medical hospitals speak to each other. You know, like if you go to CVS and you pick up a prescription at one location, the other location knows that it happens. I've confirmed that doesn't seem to be the circumstance. It's possible that it could be because maybe Dr. Lee Trotter, which I have heard, works at both limited surgeons going back and forth. That's somehow it created a file. But I'd like to know definitively what the answer for that is, why he also has a file at UVU, why there seemed to be so much confusion. Again, we don't need to go crazy with conspiracy theories. There could be a logical answer. I have not stumbled upon it yet. And so, medical community, feel free to email us at moretips@CandaceOwens.com. Okay, we're going to take a brief break before we get into Turning Point USA's response.
All right, real quick. Y'all, that's some nasty work. And by the way, this video, Candace videos are not live. I'm just gonna put that out there again. They're not live. They're pre-recorded. But you know what's not pre-recorded? A brand new member. Shout out to SW7210, brand new member. Welcome to the family. Shout out to you. What does MT say with the $5 super? It says this: Candace discovered that white people can trace their lineages better than we can. Wow. Also, they don't use Google for covert searches. Genius. Shout out. And you're 1,000% correct. Welcome, Jana. Thank you so much. Welcome, friend, to being a brand new Pod Squad member. Appreciate you. And thank you also for the very kind super sticker. Appreciate you, friend, for sure. All right, let's go over here. MT says this: making the essay word count, the album 2025. That's exactly what she's doing. Like, what are you doing? What are we doing here? Like, that's some grade A craziness. Rose Lily Noble with the $5 super says this: watch Lauren the Mortician video about how actual medical proceedings work. We did a review on that one. We watched it. Yep. She debunks Candace completely. And shout out. But you know what? Candace has such witchcraft over people. The video that I did where I show Morgan the Mortician, there are people arguing that Morgan the Mortician is a dumb blonde. She doesn't know what she's talking about because she disagrees with Candace. I'm like, the woman works in the field. She works with these bodies. She works in this field. No, Candace is right. It's crazy, man. It's a level of witchcraft that's going to have to be studied. Shout out to Just Rhonda with the $5. By the time she gets finished betraying Charlie, they'll be able to file a freaking class action suit against her. Please, 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 can we all pray to that end? Because I want to see it. I want that to happen. Shout out to MC. Thank you again. Reads 2 books and sees patterns. The movie 2025. That's exactly what she's doing, man. This is Dunning-Kruger effect on cocaine. Shout out again to Vanessa with the $2 super. Says, wait, if George Farmer took A. Tate's class on women, I see what you did there. Yeah, Andrew Tate has a class on how to pick up women and take advantage of them. Wild work, right? MT again with the $5. She said his domestic agenda was fine. I think she's talking about Kanye West. That agenda included unaliving people based on race. Oh, you're talking about Hitler. Race, disability, politics. Girl, just say you are evil. Embrace it. I mean, that's what she says now. She's right there. She's fine with the failed art student. Who in chat doesn't have a military in their family? I'm like, really? Like, apparently that's a bad thing. Thank you so much. Relax, Jack, with the $2 super. Thank you so much for that. And Lady Green says this. Lady Green says this. Thanks for all the set you do. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I think it means things. I appreciate it. I appreciate you with the $5 super. Thank you very much. Oh, here it comes. I think this is where we're going to get to. They've been saying that Erica was a handler, convenient, with the $2 super. Thank you so much, MT. All right, let's go. Last one. Some companies have veteran hire. Right. I mean, hiring a veteran is actually a noble thing. Like, I don't understand that. They make good employees. What are we talking about? How is that bad that TPUSA recognize it? And like, I would ask the question, is TPUSA located in a city or a town that has a military base? Because they're going to probably have a lot of military or ex-military personnel. Like, why not? You wouldn't say, she wouldn't have this thing, she wouldn't be looking sideways at military if they were talking about firefighters. So why are you doing it here? Like, that makes no sense. Let's bring Candace back in. She's back, ladies and gentlemen. Green hearts in the chat.
I think I said UVU Medical. I meant to say Utah Valley Hospital. UVU is obviously on my mind because it is the university. It is Utah Valley Hospital is where that file was. And that person and some people that I confirmed with said that their two systems don't speak together. So, but there could be another logical explanation. Maybe someone called ahead and then they made a decision because of traffic to go somewhere else. But I would like to get to the bottom of that. Okay, let's jump in here to TPUSA's response to the Mikey McCoy. Actually, it wasn't really a response because, to be fair, they did their episode before my episode went out. Charlie Kirk's show is before my show is. But it was their response to the Mikey McCoy video going viral. So not a response to me, but rather a response to the people who had pulled this out, who had discovered this over the weekend. So like James Lee, Ian Carroll, Sam Parker. And here is what Andrew Colbert had to say. He's going to tell us that Mikey was told to do this in the event of this type of an emergency by, you guessed it, Charlie Kirk. Take a listen.
Here's the last thing I want to make a point of. And Charlie had given me similar instructions along the years. He said, if anything ever happens to me, you call Erica.
Yeah,
that is
that's the
and
other
he
thing.
drilled that into Mikey's brain so that when this moment of trauma happened, that he turned around and he knew how to do it. And by the way, last thing, because this is part of the video allegations here, is that they think they're alleging that he was on the phone immediately. He was not. He was taking social videos, which he would send to our group chat, which we would then put on Charlie's social while the event was happening, so you could see like the crowd come in or his interactions. And we were only 2 questions into this event, so he was still getting it out to all the chats he needed to do, which he did at every event. He turns around, and it was so blaringly loud, I'm told. You would know this better than I, but this is what I'm told. It was so blaringly loud, and he was so shell-shocked. He put his fingers in his ear, but his phone was still in his hand. He walks away. And he's
not even walk. I want to, because people are
enough.
talking about that. The way it was is we had cordoned off area with grates, so you had controlled access. All the people, when this happens, they all get the idea we should leave before we are shot, and so there's a little narrow gap that I think people. It's not really walking; it's that everyone has to slow up to get through this little narrow choke point to get out of the area.
Okay. Elsewhere, they say that so basically he was on the phone. He was holding his ears. Okay. And then once he got out into the distance beyond the car that Charlie would be carried into is when he called Erica first and then his father. That's what they tell us. Now, in regards to him saying that Mikey was taking social videos, I can tell you it tracks that Mikey would be taking videos behind, like, when Charlie first comes out of the event, he's throwing hats. That tracks. That absolutely is a thing at Turning Point USA. You follow the person to get behind.
Okay, before she even goes further, ma'am, you haven't worked there in 10 years. A decade. Some things can change in a decade. Things change in 8 years, 5 years, 3 years. Ma'am, you're not there. Why are you treating it like you were there last Tuesday? You're not there. This is that Boyle and Bunny stuff we're talking about.
Scenes. I would have Savannah do this before Mikey McCoy did this. It was Sarah Schmachtenberger. And they do that. They like the behind the scenes reactions. But in this particular video, he's not standing where you can get a view of Charlie asking a question. So this part is not tracking. Okay, Mikey is not standing to the side of Charlie. He is behind. And so if you're saying what earlier, we're supposed to see him, the best place to stand if you're going to get a video of Charlie asking a question is going to be in a place where you can see both Charlie and the person asking the question. And that's just not where he's standing. So that excuse doesn't make sense to me. No.
Nobody cares, Candace. Why are you treating like you have to understand everything? One, we're looking at it from a different angle. Like, there's no grace in this woman's approach at all. There's no grace. Like, man, you know what? Maybe I'm looking at this differently. Maybe I see this because the angle we're looking at it is different. Maybe he hadn't got set up to do what he was going to do. Maybe he took one video and he was still fiddling around, or maybe just why are you so ingracious? Why are you so hard strung that you can't say, you know what? Okay, that answer works. Because what do you want the answer to be? That Mikey was sitting over there coordinating the bullet? He's Magneto trying to get the bullet to come. What are you trying to do? Because there's only one or two options. What Andrew Colvett said is correct, or whatever the devil's yarn you're trying to spin is the correct way to go. Maybe there's another way, but I don't know. Like, why can't you just be gracious and say, okay, that's it. All right, that's it. But see, she wants to pick a fight with Andrew Colvett. She wants to pick a fight with Mike McCoy and Rob McCoy because she sees them as the ones that are more likely to respond and say something to her, breaking the gag order and causing all kinds of chaos on that case. That's what she wants. Don't fall victim for it. Don't be played the fool.
Maybe he's saying Mikey was there when he was throwing hats out, and he was there trying to send videos thereafter once things got started. That's all possible. I don't know. Regarding him putting his hands up to his ear, it does sound completely plausible to me that if you first hear a gunshot, you're going to naturally do this, right? That kind of makes sense. You're going to go, what was that maybe? And then I think typically you'd get down. And the issue that I have is I never see him take that phone down. Maybe he does, right? Maybe he does.
Then why would you immediately assume nefariousness if you can't? Why does that even have to be a thing? Why does he need to turn around and make sure all cameras can see him take his phone down from his ear so that Candace won't think that he was involved in something? Why does he have to do that? Ma'am, this is some crazy work. And this is also a 180-degree turn from where she was yesterday. Because yesterday he was about sin and nefariousness. Now she's giving grace. Maybe you shouldn't be doing this, Dunning-Kruger. Maybe you shouldn't be doing this. Nasty work, man.
We don't know for a fact. And so we should be clear that it doesn't look to me like he's just covering his ears there.
Who cares?
But maybe he is. What I will say is that it would be unlikely that you would keep holding your ears until you get all the way out.
Wow, there's a time limit. There's a shot clock for keeping your fingers in your ears for an event that you've never been exposed to before. You've never done this before. I've never been in an active shooting event before, but I gotta make sure that people see me take my hand down. Everybody see my phone? I took my hand down. And if I keep my fingers in my ears, I can only keep them in there as long as Candace Owens thinks it's okay for me to keep my fingers in my ears. Y'all, this woman is absolutely stir-fried crazy. I mean, this is some heavy-duty, stir-fried, fricasseed insanity. You gotta be kidding me.
You wouldn't duck down. And regarding, Charlie always told us to call Erica if anything happens. Yeah, that's kind of common sense. That's not exactly like, hey, if I get shot in the throat, don't help me and call Erica. I think obviously that's called like first of kin, right?
Why? I don't mean to keep stopping, y'all. I don't mean to keep stopping. But this is insane. This is very gross. And again, this is just you know what? I'm going to give you just asking questions because I'm just asking questions. There you go. I'm just asking questions. So, oh wait, she said Erica. Hallelujah. Come on. We getting there, man. We going to get there tonight. We going to get there. This is crazy work, y'all. This is absolutely insanity. So the man can't put his finger to his ear. He's got to make sure everybody sees me. Hey, I took my phone down. Hey, I took my phone down. Everybody see me? I can't do. Man, I mean, look up imprecatory prayers if anybody wants to know. I'm praying imprecatory prayers for Candace. I'm sorry. This is crazy work, y'all. This is nasty work. Like, good gracious, man, you can't have your finger up to the ear but so long. Like, you got a shot clock. What's the time?
If something happens to me, call George. Something happens to George, call Candace. That is almost in the sphere of common sense. So I believe that. I don't believe that Charlie said, if I get shot, don't help me, calmly walk away and call Erica first. Like, I think
this is adorable.
I don't know.
Okay, this is interesting. Watch the video. It's on Charlie Kirk's channel. I think I still have it right here. I think I shared it earlier. Watch the video. They explain what they're doing. And Candace deliberately is not showing you the full clip. of what they're talking about, because they explain why Mike McCoy doesn't do anything, aka helping Charlie out. There's a reason why, and they explain it, and it makes perfect sense. It's exactly like what I said with my school situation. When there's a fire drill, you put your hands down, you look at Mr. Whitaker, because I'm going to get you home as best possible. That's what we do. So there's a reason why, and she doesn't play that. I think that's interesting because they explain that part specifically, because it throws a cold blanket over all this clownery that she's doing. Let's go.
Like I said, we have nothing to go off of. I think it's curious that we're hearing this from Andrew and we're not hearing it from Mikey McCoy. It's very easy to dispel any internet innuendo. You don't actually have to jump into ad hominem attacks. The first thing I would have done, just like I did when I was being accused of colluding on the Blake Lively story, when I got drafted into that lawsuit and they thought that I was working with Blake Lively's, working with Justin Baldoni's team, is I quite literally live subpoenaed myself. I held to my phone, I typed in Blake Lively, and I showed you the only 2 times that I had ever texted about her in my phone at all, to demonstrate that there was no collusion happening and no one compelled me to speak. It was a ridiculous thing for her to say. I laughed at it. I wasn't upset about it, right? And I said, this is crazy. Here is my phone. I'm live opening it for you. Why not do that? Doesn't that seem easier?
No, because it's still under subpoena. See, they're still in the gag order. I'm telling you, she wants them to break that gag order. She's going to keep putting it out there that you break that gag order. That's what she wants. Because I think they said too much even in here. And I said in the beginning, I didn't think they needed to talk at all. But they did speak, and that's what's going to happen. So she wants another tit for tat so they say something too much and end up causing a problem. That's what they want. This woman is down bad.
If you feel that pressure is to just say, I'm going to dispel this, it's kind of like the Brigitte Macron thing. Hey, here's a couple of pictures of me raising my kids. 30 years was missing because I really was just camera shy. I'm just going to show you the pictures. It's so much easier rather than fighting a tit for tat war to just share the truth. People are uncomfortable. It's going to get even more interesting, though, because Alex Marlowe, who runs Breitbart News, was their guest for the day on the show. And he then kind of shifts gears and pretends like we're all drug addicts. Right? We're just high on conspiracy theory. Take a listen.
There's a suggestion online that Mikey, Charlie's chief of staff, one of the most sincere people you'd ever meet, brilliant, Christian, kind, everyone he ever met in his entire life, couldn't hurt a fly, was part of a conspiracy to murder Charlie. That's what's going on.
Yeah. It's vile. It's utterly vile.
Who would do this? What type of individual? Just to create content, do we think? Or is there some, what's the ulterior?
I don't know. I think a lot of this mindset just sort of fuels itself. It's sort of addictive in the same way a lot of social media stuff is addictive, or in the way like, honestly, something like pornography is addictive or something. Like they get really, they almost get, they get a high off of like the idea of like that they're doing something that's daring or out there.
So that right there is a psychological operation. And because we're reading about Sigmund Freud, they diagnose you. When they don't want you to look into something, they diagnose you. So right there, he's going, oh my, are they just doing this to create content? Are these people akin to drug addicts? They're just high on the conspiracy theory?
Candace, you did that yesterday. You talked about people that were making content about you. You've done that as well. You've done the exact same thing. That's adorable. Like, again, this is projection 101. If you want to learn how to project, follow Candace Owens. She's going to show you the way to project. This is crazy, man. This chick is, this is some high grade projection here. Man, that's what you do all the time. That is wild work, man.
They're gaslighting you, and then they're diagnosing you. So we all just watched Charlie die. We are having a perfectly rational response to watching that, and then watching the strange reaction of his peers, or the non-reaction of his peers who just want our money, right? And are asking for Susie Wiles. It's the craziest part of this whole thing for me. It was like, why Susie Wiles? I know, it just feels really weird, like a weird pick for her to eulogize him. But yeah, and not maybe his parents, maybe they didn't want to. Actually, they were quite private people. But all this happens, and we're having a natural reaction, which is we feel alarmed, we feel suspicious, and they're going, oh, you're a drug addict. You know what? I get it. You kind of like porn. You're into that. You're into the porn thing. I get it. No, I get it.
The comedy is totally palpable. Does anybody remember Kanye West wanting to start a corn site? Literally last year. I think that's adorable that she wants to call that out, but you don't talk about the fact that Kanye West wanted to start a corn site. Like, where is that discussed there? Where's that? This woman is wild, y'all. Shout out to the Candies, man. Shout out to the Candies. Your leader is wild.
If you want to watch porn all day, you want to watch porn all day. That, my friends, is psychological operation. Steel yourselves against this. Yes, we are asking questions. No, we are not akin to people that watch pornography all day. And no, we're not getting high on it. We're going to get high when we find out what actually happened. That's going to feel like a high to us, right? That's going to be that natural rush that we feel when we've actually.
So I'm not notice that she's flip-flopping between I and us. I and us. I want to do something. Us, we're going to feel this way. That is some wild work, y'all. This is incredible. All right, let's go, Jason.
Really solved what happened to Charlie Kirk. So let me answer you back on that, Alex Marlowe. Be careful, because it might do your genealogy. You don't want me doing that. Careful.
See what I mean?
Then we have Frank Turek, who
Like that's a normal right-leaning response that I'm going to dig into your family lineage and expose your family heritage. That's a normal thing that right-leaning people do all the time. They do it all the time. They threaten all the time to, hey, I'm going to dig into your family history and I'm going to show who your great-great-grandfather was. I'm going to show who your grandmother married or whatever. Like that's a normal behavior that we always do. The right-leaning people do it all the time.
He's in this same sort of act of psychological manipulation, in my viewpoint. And he defends Mikey McCoy. I think this is on his own show. Here's what he had to say.
There's a difference between a possibility and evidence for a possibility. You can speculate on anything you want, but unless you have evidence, shut up. Okay? Because all you're doing is causing dissension among the brothers, which is something the Lord hates. If you want to present a possibility and say, well, this could be true, okay, it could be true, but don't accuse people for doing something for which you have no evidence. I heard today, I guess I hadn't seen it myself, but I heard today she was judging people who didn't act the right way. I don't know if anyone did. Has anyone seen this video? She, according to Candace Owens, these people did not act the right way after Charlie's death. Like my friend Mikey McCoy, the brilliant 24-year-old who at the time when Charlie was shot was 23 and was a hero that day. He apparently didn't act the right way, according to Candace Owens. He didn't act normal.
You know, I'm glad that I played that video of Charlie Kirk's show. Go back and watch that video because Candace has cut out a lot. She did not play a lot of that video that they explain Mike McCoy's behavior on that day. She really skipped a lot. I'm not trying to be funny about it. She really skipped a lot. That's very interesting that she literally skipped so much and talked about such a minuscule point that doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, really doesn't matter. But let's go.
There is no normal when you're in shock. There is no normal when an abnormal thing happens. Some people are going to act one way, other people are going to act another way. You don't know how you would react. I didn't know how I would react. The only reason that I did what I did is because I thought about it beforehand. I was afraid somebody would take a shot at Charlie. And I thought to myself, if it does happen, what am I going to do? Decide now. And what I wanted to do would do anything I could to save him.
Couple of psychological manipulations happening there. First is like the academic one, where he's trying to present himself as an authority on the topic and saying to you, like, there is no, everybody can do anything when shots are fired. We don't know when you're shocked by shots being fired. Some people just, start doing the hokey pokey. Look, some people literally, they hear shots fired. They get on a table and they start dancing and singing and saying, shoot me, shoot me. Like George Zinn, that's no, hey, we don't know. He was in shock. George Zinn, I did it. That's a normal, hey, we don't know, right? Like we do actually know that we all have a baseline response to danger.
Notice everybody's behaves a certain way. And I think it's interesting because yesterday I said, we don't know that somebody might stand there and jump up and down. I said that yesterday. And she said something similar today. But no, no, there isn't a baseline. There's an old saying that the best military plans go out the window when the first bullet gets fired. And you have a plan until you get hit in the face. Once you get hit in the face, things go out the window. They just go out the window. Like, come on. I don't understand why this woman can't conceptualize that. And I think she understands it, but she really wants there to be some daylight between what really could happen and what did happen, rather than it being, this is probably how it went down. This is probably how it happened. Yeah, that makes sense. That's why she went over there and spent all that time talking about the hospital. That's why she spent all this time trying to concoct the story about how she and Charlie manifested the reality of the intergalactic space federation with Kanye West. Like, this is just pitiful. Okay, let's go. Let's get done, Jason.
You run towards it because you want to rescue people. These are the heroes in the story, or you run away from it. Right? That's a baseline. Or you freeze. You literally just are paralyzed by fear, kind of. Maybe I'd say 3 baseline things that you can expect, right?
Where did you get that from?
Away from this.
No military background. Frank Turek, former military, would probably be more akin and understand. She's got Dunning-Kruger effect on lockdown. She is Dunning-Kruger insane. Like, why is it that a person who's been in the military, has been shot at or shot at other people, doesn't know it more than Dunning-Kruger over here with these shoulder pads in this jacket? I just want to ask questions.
Exactly what to do, and I need to rescue other people. So don't do that. The other thing he's doing, of course, is the biblical manipulation, which seems to me to be that there has been a military infiltration into the churches. I think we've covered that enough this year.
The military in churches?
Pastor, where they just try to find some scripture and justify it, and he's a pastor, he's earning trust, he's saying she's judging people. The Lord says this. The Lord.
This chick is sitting there talking to demons. This chick is talking to demons, manifesting the universe through her text message, but this man can't actually quote scripture. Y'all, make this make sense. Stop it. This chick is talking to demons in 4K, and she's proud of it. She is big proud that she talks to demons. But Frank Turek, a pox upon him for recognizing that she's causing a division amongst the brethren, and quotes that and says she's causing a division amongst the brethren.
Says she shouldn't look into the trial. The Lord says she shouldn't ask questions. The Lord thinks that people should just shut up.
Who said that? Nobody said that. That's not being honest, Candace. I know your baseline understanding is to be deceptive. Your baseline understanding is to be dishonest. But nobody said that. That man did not say that. That's not what he said. You said that. And you're adding to what the man said. The man did not say that.
To me, is like the sickest form of manipulation. The sickest form of manipulation is to try to present it via the lens of what God would want. You don't have to do that. Just say what you think, say what you mean, and try to manipulate people the old school way, okay?
Wow. So saying that Charlie told you to look out for the ER doctor, that's not manipulation. Charlie coming to you in a dream telling you that he was betrayed, that's not manipulation. Okay. I got you. That's it. It's not manipulation, because Candace said it's not manipulation, because that's not a psyop. That's not. Candace is not bought and sold by Qatar. She's not getting money from Muslim and Islamic sources. No, because she says she's not. Wow.
Psychological operations. The one safe place is my book club.
Oh my gosh, the book club.
We're real, we're ratchet in the book club. I say whatever because I know people that are in there, they're ready for it. I'm throwing to them. We're talking about Frankism. We're talking about the Kabbalah. We're talking about the infiltration into the churches, intentional as an aspect of the Frankist movement. And we go pretty quickly. We're reading these books. We're learning about Sigmund Freud, right? It starts with Sigmund Freud. It ends with Operation Mocking Pastor, or that's where we are at right now. And
wow. Okay, y'all. I'm trying my best. I'm trying not to rage quit this. But she literally has called an Operation Mocking Pastor because she's mad at who? Rob McCoy. She wants blood. She wants smoke with Rob McCoy. Yo, did you hear the books and the themes that she reads in her book club? The Kabbalah, Frankist, and all this other stuff like that. No scripture. Nothing that edifies you as a Christian, because she alleges that she's a Christian. That's her testimony or her statement. I disagree with it. I see no evidence to that point, but nothing about scripture. Like literally, she's just talking about more conspiracy. So why shouldn't her audience, why shouldn't the Candies be rotten to the core because they're not getting anything that's revitalizing them?
I have so much fun. And what happened was Zionists actually purchased the book club. Passed the book club, and they then started sharing clips and watermarked it as if it was their own content to make money off of. This guy, Milk Bar TV, I was like, you're getting hit with a copyright strike, my friend. Okay.
Shout out to Milk Bar.
Myself. hit him with a copyright strike, because he literally put Milk Bar TV content on the corner. He watermarked my content to then smear me, right? If you're going to watermark my content, at least don't smear me and call me a crazy person. And what they were upset with was that I said that it was ridiculous. And I meant it, by the way. So shocking. I say what I mean, that we're supposed to think that Charlie is being honored because he got a Charlie Kirk Day in October. I will feel Charlie is honored, okay, when we figure out who killed him, because I'm not buying the lone shooter thing. So I said, miss me with the whole holiday theater. Tell me who actually killed him. And it's a typical federal maneuver, by the way, to kill someone like Martin Luther King or JFK, and then they get a holiday, they get a boulevard. That's what I said. And I would have said it off the book club, but they clipped it, tried to take it out of context. But it's not 2018, and I am not new to what you guys do. These out of context clips are just not hitting the same. The people are awake. They know what's happening here. They see what you're doing. And then he cried, by the way.
So, like I told you, Candace came back really upset about social media commenting about her. And she's mentioned it several times. Now she has to position herself as being stoic and strong. She got the NFL shoulder pads. So she's really got you got to believe that she's not bothered by that. But let me let you know, I feel very comfortable in saying she's very bothered, extremely bothered. Shout out to Nathan Livingstone and Milk Bar TV, because this really bothered her a great deal. And it's crazy work. Let's get done.
When he got hit with the copyright strike, I couldn't believe it. Talk about literally crying while you strike someone else. Like, you stole my content. You got caught stealing my content and trying to make money off of it. And then he tweets, Candace Owens hit my account. This is Nathan Livingstone. I tried to steal and she didn't let me. Why is she trying to silence me? Why won't she let me steal?
That's not what he said, though.
You can pay for a pass. You can watch it, but you can't steal my content. Anyways, guys, it's amazing. Right? I think it's actually amazing that our book club got infiltrated. We're going to have to be more careful in there. Just kidding. I won't be. I will be just as ratchet as I always am in the book club. Lastly, we got to get to Brigitte Macron, because I think everybody now is really tired of her lying about having been born with a penis. Not my fault, okay? If you have not, by the way, watched the Becoming Brigitte series.
So, and I said this yesterday, she was going to talk about this. And I think it's funny because she's going to highlight that tweet that we read yesterday. I'm sorry, that we read Saturday. Please forgive me, Saturday. I think this is adorable. Let's see what she says.
And you are appreciating what I'm doing with the Charlie Kirk series. Go back and watch it. Same thing. All I did was tell the truth, and people were upset, and then the series went viral. I mean, by people, I mean the media was upset. The series went viral. There's no way you can watch the series and come out of it thinking that Brigitte was born a female. You can't just disappear 30 years of your life. You can't just say, I didn't take a picture for 30 years. It doesn't work like that. Okay, such an easy, lowest baby bar ever to set to dispel the rumors. Hey, can we get some pictures from your wedding day? Like, you with your family, and not just pictures that have been given to us from a woman who quite literally is facing charges for falsifying pictures. Like, we've got like 4 photos of the whole life. And yeah, I'm being sued because that's the next logical step. You sue people for telling the truth to scare them. And it's all related, by the way. We're talking about who Brigitte actually is, the families that Brigitte is related to, the fact that Emmanuel Macron is, in fact, just like the state of Israel, a Rothschild creation, talking about the military-industrial complex, and talking about the Kabbalah. Kabbalah very much is the reason for this push in culture for transgenderism. We'll get more into that in the book club, which gets a bit more theological. But that's a very important series. And basically what happened this week is people who hadn't even watched the series were like, okay, I've seen enough. Brigitte Macron crying because she doesn't know. Brigitte doesn't know why. But on the tax forms, the French tax forms, Brigitte is listed as Jean-Michel and listed as a male. So they're trying to lie and tell the public that they think this was done by a team of hackers. Okay? Hackers who they haven't arrested. Okay, what hacker? By this happened years ago, right? It was actually someone who worked for her who said, oh, this is weird. Like, I'm in your account right now, and you're registered as a dude named Jean-Michel.
That's not true. We read the article, and it's been debunked. It's funny that she's going to talk about this and not give the full context of it, because it's been proven that it was hijacked recently, not a long time ago. And we read the article about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, she's deliberately and intentionally, she's got to keep this going. And I'm going to talk about why I think she's doing this. Let's go.
Mr. Bromet was the guy who did this, a government official. He made the revelation, and he recounted how Brigitte was stunned to learn that her legal name had been, quote unquote, changed when she logged into her personal tax account. We were completely surprised, said Mr. Bromet. Oh, okay, so we're supposed to believe the government, which Brigitte is controlling. By the way, this person, Bromet, has worked with the couple since 2017. And we're supposed to believe that a hacker was going to risk hacking the president of France. Okay, the government, had to be the government, decided to hack the government and to only change the name. Like, if you're going to risk that kind of an offense, that sort of a criminal offense, at least take the money. at least say, and they wiped out $2 million. It was a crazy hack, a little joke at the end of it. But no, just wanted to hack and risk criminal charges to change your name to Jean-Michel way back when this wasn't even a viral story. I mean, completely ridiculous, okay? You were born Jean-Michel Trogneux. You transitioned and you've been put in this position of power. And I don't know why they would do this. You got away with offending Emmanuel when he was 14 years old, sexual offense. And you went after, I mean, he was a child in my view, in everyone's view, a 14-year-old kid. You got a 40-year-old adult that goes after him. And now you're pretending you're the victim, okay? A little bit crazy. We're getting tired of it. You can't just keep pretending everything is just happening to you. Just present some pictures. Stop pretending that you're offering genetic evidence in the court hearing against me. You're not even suing me for the claim that I said you were born a male. You're suing me for the claim that I said you stole your sister's identity to
It's not
transition.
true.
That's what you're suing me over.
No, and you can look on, I have the link on my channel. It's called Candyland. And you can look at the lawsuit that they're filing. They are saying that they're suing you for the lie that you stole identity, but there are also other points as well. This is just wild work. Like she's exhausting.
Very many other things are ridiculous. And you've never offered genetic evidence because we didn't even get to that stage of the hearing. We have not gotten to any stage, actually. It's like the back forth, tit for tat, changing the filings, all very preliminary. You're just doing the most in terms of PR, trying to convince the world against something that we recognize, which is that you were born a male. So Emmanuel Macron, come clean. Everybody, and I mean everybody worldwide, is exhausted with your wife's penis. We're going to take a quick break and get some of your comments. All right, jumping in here to tell you guys about Comet AI, because how much time
So, okay, I'm gonna explain why I think I've put it all together. I think I know why Candace is doing all of this and what all of this entails and what all of this means. But before we do that, real quick, I got bingo several ways. I'm still looking for random text, a betrayal, genericize. You know what? I'm going to go with genericize. You know what? I'm feeling generous. I'm giving out genericize because she just genericized that the court case against the Macrons. So there you go. Genericize. So now I got bingo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways. I'm trying to get 7. If I get CIA right here, I think we're cooking. So we're going to see what happens. But I'm going to explain why I think she's doing all of this and what the long tail game is. And it does deal with money. It does deal with money. I'm going to explain why I think she's doing all of this and where the long game goes. So hold tight. I'll explain in a second. So appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much to everybody. There's 930 people up in here. Please make sure you hit the like button. Help your boy out. Lots of good conversation going on in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Thank you so much for that. All right, let's go. Let's go. She's almost finished with whatever she's doing, her ad read, because you got to read the ads during your expose. All right, let's go. Oh, no, there's more. Oh, my gosh. There's more to it. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, I don't want to see that. Anything else that we need? Anybody else need another word? I got some super chats I need to read too. Here, you know what? That'll clean the palate. Super chats always help clean the palate. There we go. Let's do that. Shout out to y'all, because you know she ain't talking about nothing at the end. All right. Stop following. Thank you so much, Tony. Starts with the $10. Says this, stop following Candace when she did the podcast with Kanye. I could tell how fake she started to become, even with Tate. For off paper, she's not married nor has children on her own. She faked her pregnancy. Whoa. Okay. Okay, I've never heard that one before. Thank you for the $10 super. Now you're gonna have to give me some more evidence now. Now that one I wasn't expecting that one, but let's go. Thank you so much, Miss Manners, with the $5. Have you seen the appearance of Ye Made on Tim Pool? It's hilarious. I've not seen that. Okay, let me go pull that. I'll have to look that one up as well. Make sure y'all email it to me. Thank you for the $5 super. She clearly is out of content, please forgive me. She said that she had proof of a betrayal and she's got nothing. She never has anything. I thank you for the $5 super. And again, she doesn't have anything. But you know what though? Because you use the word betrayal, I'm going to give y'all betrayal. Absolutely. Now I got bingo like insane bingo. I only got 3 more words. Shout out. There we go. That's what we're doing up in here. Shout out to the Candies. I appreciate y'all jumping in. Notice the name drops and complaints. Manipulation 101. And compliments, please forgive me. And Manipulation 101. No doubt, MT. Thank you for the $2 super. This is a manipulation. This is a class, a college course in manipulation. They've been saying Erica is a handler, and that's convenient. Yeah, shout out. I have to admit she didn't say it. I think she's trying to get there, but we'll see what ends up happening for sure. Lots of good conversation. MT came back again. She said his domestic agenda was fine. Okay, we are looking at, okay, I feel like the list moved up. Sorry about that. Oh, yeah, it is totally moved up. Doggone. I'm sorry about that. Here we go. We're going with Amethyst Angel. Thank you, love, for the $20 super. I think some of the dum-dums are feds dropping M&Ms to see where she bites. That's interesting. Okay. That note could have referenced any important person. It didn't specifically specify who. Mark my words, the feds are up to it in stealth approach. Hey, thank you for the $20, and that's a very interesting approach. I didn't think about that. Maybe she is being tricked by the feds. Thank you, 5687 with the $5 super. She strings random facts together and claims that they are connections. Dumb people believe that she's making sense to convince themselves that they are smart. I like that. I like that. Shout out for that. Thank you so much for the $5 super. And I'm right there with you. I agree. He was breathing, so she's involved. So he's involved in something. Right. Vanessa, at this point, with the $2 super, anybody and everybody's guilty. Matter of fact, you just need to go ahead and tell us that you're not guilty and prove to us, give us your phone log, your travel logs, as well as your bank accounts. Give it all to us first, and then we'll determine if you're guilty. UVU does not have a hospital. U of U is 45 minutes away. Now she's producing fake hospital notes. No one would have taken them to U of U with that wound. To me, it's just thank you again, Tay, for the $5 super. Like, why would you even? What is she trying to do with that? Like, what was the purpose of that? I don't get it. Just to add some kind of discord. Oh, like Frank Turk said. Shout out to Rhonda with the $10 says this. I have to make this known. The hospital in Provo of Utah Valley Hospital, I just verified, but I already knew. Tips-Alaska Regional Hospital is closer to UVU. Fact, UVH is 5 miles away. Tips-Alaska Regional Hospital is 1.5 miles away. Shout out. Thank you so much for the $10 super. To me, I'm like, why is that even a thing, though? Why does that have to be a thing that we're having a deep conversation about the distance of the hospital? There's 1,000 reasons why they might have gone to a different hospital, even if it were further. Maybe there is another reason. Like, why do you immediately think that because you don't understand? And that's the thing. That's that Dunning-Kruger stuff. Because Candace doesn't understand, therefore, there must be a reason that's nefarious and ill will and all that kind of jazz like that because she doesn't understand it. And that's crazy work. Let me go ahead and bring this back in. Let's go. All right, she's still doing the ad read. And let's get this back in right yonder. All right, she's doing let's see what she got right now.
All right, first comment.
Green hearts in the chat.
Writes, my copy of Making a Sandwich came in the mail today. Thank you for all that you do, Candace. Thank you for helping me navigate being a stay-at-home mom. Thank you for helping me find faith again, and thank you for fighting for Charlie. Love that comment so much. Also, yes, Make Him a Sandwich. I'm so proud of this book. Please tag me when you get it. I get really happy when you guys tag me.
The comedy of her peddling her book, but she gives Josh Hammer grief for peddling his book. That comedy right there is must-win comedy. That's a random text. I'm going to go with random text, y'all. I'm trying to get blackout bingo. I'm going to get blackout bingo, even if I got to make up a reason. Okay. I just need best friend and CIA, and I've got blackout bingo. I am trying my best to get. It's a real thing, y'all, for real. Okay, let's go.
Me in the book. because it really was a labor of love. Like I said, I wrote every word of this, and I did it outside of the Matrix. So there is no book publisher that is involved, no mainstream Simon Schuster person. We decided to self-publish, and we used actually an amazing Catholic book printer to do this. So I'm proud of that. Grooven with Christ writes, I love that you are wearing the miraculous medal. Living in God's truth is like serenity on steroids. God bless. I should have mentioned, by the way, that you can buy this at makehimasandwich.com. Makehimasandwich.com if you want to know where to get that book. And yes, it also helps the Catholic book printer that worked with us on this, and they were, like I said, phenomenal. John Diamond writes, Candace, welcome back. We missed you, of course. I know you're catching up on current events. Let me summarize. Everything is still fake and gay. Please give your husband and kids a huge hug from all of us. They are the ones who support you every day. Thank God for them. They are amazing, and it is because of my family that I genuinely, I know that I was saved because I had the confidence to be more of myself when I married George. And he has supported me through everything, and me never having the fashionable opinion. And of course, it impacts as a knock-on effect with the world that he knew. I mean, my husband, think about this. My husband used to work with, and he used to donate to the Friends of Israel when he was in the UK, and he married me. And so, yeah, I mean, I would say I was pro-Israel when we met, but life has changed dramatically, and he has been there and has always supported me. Stuart Dillian writes, hi, Candace, would you mind sharing your homeschooling plan sometime? My wife and I tried twice, traditional and unschooling, but it did not succeed. I'd love to know what's working for you. Thanks, and keep up the great work. First thing I want to say, it has been an absolute gift to have my kids at home. I can't explain to you, I am a happier person because of it. I can't believe we just send off the joy and go to work. Everything they say, it's so cute to watch the way their brains are forming and to realize that it's really hard to explain concepts when they take everything so literally. And the number one thing that I will say, and I will do a deeper episode on this, is microschooling, right? So I take the first 2 hours for the kids, but it is a family that has 2 kids that are just around the same age, and then it's my 2 older kids, which are around the same age, and my other 2 are way too young. I have an infant, and I have a soon-to-be 2-year-old, so they're not in it. Community, find a local community of people to do it with and figure it out. Obviously, I am blessed, and I recognize that I get to work more in the afternoon, and I don't have to have the full 8-hour day, but you can figure it out, and you will be a happier person if you do. Mrs. Preppy writes, do you hold hope that the Trump administration could come through with justice for Charlie? What if Trump is reconsidering his love for Israel, like Charlie? There is Ivanka. Trump wouldn't and couldn't do anything without getting his daughter back. No, I don't hold out any hope at all, actually. And the fact that Trump even invited Kash Patel to that Charlie holiday thing, which I'll get into tomorrow, we're establishing a holiday, I think is proof to me that he wants this buried. I think actually Don Jr. may have even said that. He accepts the narrative. I'll have to dig up that clip for you guys tomorrow. I have no hope whatsoever. And I don't believe he's reconsidering his love for Israel. Miriam Adelson gave him $100 million, and she was explicit. The $100 million meant that he would allow them to annex, not Gaza, the West Bank. So all this chatter of, that would be a step too far. No, blah, blah, blah. He pre-agreed to that, and he's going to make it on his pre-agreement. That's my perspective. Someone asked, did you background check Ian Carroll? No. I'm about to do his genealogy. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. RN Explorer writes, those hiding the truth better hope Candace does not turn out pregnant with a boy right now. I stand with the truth with Charlie and Candace. So true. You know me. I want hood rat stuff with my friends when I am pregnant with a boy. I need it all day, every day. Beck Build writes, great work, Candace, praying for your safety and that Charlie's prophecy that you will lead this movement to victory will empower you even more. Thank you for that. Pixie Chicky writes, Candace, you are a class act. You are fighting for Charlie just like he asked you. Quoting Maya Angelou, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. You have done that and more to bring truth to light. Charlie would be so proud. I know he's proud. I absolutely know that Charlie is proud and that everything that we discussed, I hate that he was right about his life, but I also know that I'm the right person to do this because I came through that matrix and I know what's up and what's down. They just can't fool me with this stuff. You've done it to me so many times and I survived it, and you can't do the thing that you always do, which is try to convince the world the person is crazy, because I'm not giving them that. You did put them on a Psych 5150 hold. You did that to many people in Hollywood. I know how it works, and I'm teaching people to learn about your psychological operation, which is what it is. Sarah writes, go girl, love the Aussies. I'm so sad I won't be able to speak there. Gia writes, love you so much, Candace. Don't stop exposing these lies. You are a true friend. May God continue to bless you and your family. Love from Toronto.
No best friend?
That is all that we had today, you guys. If you'd like to support us, please go.
We're good. We're good, Candace. We're good. Thank you so much, love. All right. I did not get best friend in CIA. Darn it. You let me down, Candy. But I got 7 bingos. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it's diagonal. 8. I got 8. I'll take it. I'll take what I get. I won't pitch a fit. Shout out. Man, but let me know what I do want to do. Shout out to Captain Jax with the $50 super. Man, thank you so much, man. No comment, no question. Just Just a pure, unadulterated love of the game. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Man, you are the stream sponsor at the end of the show. We got to give you that. We got to give you that air horn. Let's do it. Shout out, man. I'm going to make you the stream sponsor. Captain Jax, thank you so much for coming through and supporting the channel. I appreciate you. Let me do that real quick and add you to the banner before we get ready to go. I got a theory I want to throw out, because Candace likes to ask questions and throw out theories and such like that. Sometimes they're founded, sometimes they're not. Most of the time they're not. They're not founded on anything, just speculation and questions. So I got an idea. I thought about it. And it's funny that she brought up the Macrons because I think this is all a part of the Macron case. I think everything we're watching has been in reference to the Macron case. I know, right? Crazy. And I'm going to explain why. A couple weeks back, I broke down and showed you all how to determine how much your favorite content creator makes on the YouTube space, right? Before I do that, though, holy spicy guacamole. I missed another one. Irene, thank you, the Brit from USA with the $10 super. What did she say? Another content creator said she has offered nothing but carrots so far and hasn't learned anything new. No, nothing new has happened. Nothing new has been taught at all. Thank you so much for the $10 super. I appreciate it. Man, get out of here, Bronx girl. With $100 super. This message is brought to you by the Messianic Jew who worked for her own money and was not paid to say it by Israel. God bless. Thank you so much, Bronx girl. Man, thank you so much. That is a very kind, gracious gift from you. Let me just say real quick, I want to point out something I got to make you the stream sponsor. While I'm pulling together these stream sponsorships real quick, I want to point out something that I think this might be a stretch. Well, hold on one second. This might be a stretch, but I'm thinking that what we've been watching all this time has been Candace Owens building up her war chest to fight against the Macrons. Everything we've been watching has been for her to fight against the Macrons. The whole thing, everything has been to that point, to that degree. Hold on one second. Let me pull this in and I'm going to show you we're going to go back down memory lane. So shout out to Bronx girl. Thank you so very much for the extremely kind, gracious gift. Let me pull this in. I just want to show it to you and let's go back in time. This is Candace some time ago before the Charlie Kirk situation kicked off. She's talking about being sued by the Macrons. Watch this. Oh, sorry. I guess I got hit.
That's the truth.
Green hearts in the chat.
Looking at this situation, you know that Brigitte has forced him to do this, just like she forced him to do everything else. And this lawsuit, we got an estimate this weekend from a legal team. It is going to cost us millions. I don't have that money. I really don't. So I thought we could actually sell some t-shirts. If you guys are watching this series and enjoying it and you want to support this lawsuit, you can head to CandaceOwens.com. We are going to be selling free Emmanuel wear. Do you have a link of that, Skylar? Do you want to pull this up?
Okay, so that was the end of it. And she says clearly right there, she does not have the money. She does not have $5 million to handle this lawsuit and it's such of that nature. So Jason, well, she said she don't have it. So she don't have it. Well, let's look at why I think that she probably does. Pull this in. And y'all have seen this before. Shout out to Social Blade. We've looked at this before. It's an aggregator of content creators so you can kind of see how well or how many views they're making, how many views they're getting. So sadly, I don't have the paid plan, but Candace is bringing in quite a few views on a daily basis, sometimes in excess of 6 million views. Like literally right here, the day the 2nd of October, she brought in 6 million views in a day. Some people don't get 6 million views in their YouTube careers. I mean, that's crazy. Now, while she was on break, she was definitely not doing those big numbers. But notice what happened yesterday. She came back yesterday, and it was back up to business as usual. 2.3 million views. And it sometimes there's an afterburn, so sometimes it's hard. It doesn't actually line up day upon day. Okay, Jason, all right, you've shown us that before. What are you trying to insinuate? I'm insinuating, and I feel like I'm making the case that Candace Owens has been making a gang of money on Charlie Kirk content since this event happened. Because when she said that, she was trying to fund her court case through selling T-shirts. Remember that? She was trying to fund her court case through T-shirt sales, which is crazy work. It's like having a bake sale for the military. But if you're familiar with this site, I showed you this site before. It's called Playboard. And Playboard is an excellent aggregator because it shows you how well your favorite YouTube content creator is doing day over day, okay, from their live stream. So yesterday, for whatever reason, her live stream is not showing up. I don't know. I know it was actually, it was live. I don't know what happened. But today, so you see every day she's been doing pretty well. And we can go back in time. There's some days where she's done as much as $7,000 in a day. You multiply that over a whole week of 5 days. Candace is making her bank. I think she's building her war chest for the Macron case literally off of Charlie. She's grifting off of Charlie Kirk's death to fund her assault and attack on the Macrons. That's what I believe. And because she says she didn't have the $5 million. Now, granted, I do think they have way more money than she wants to admit, but she don't want to spend it. Now, what I just showed you right there with all of those views that she's been getting, that's one stream of income through YouTube. Then, of course, the super chats is another stream. We're not even talking about the merch or the book club or anything of that nature. So she does have multiple sources. And I think she's using Charlie Kirk's death as a means to fund her effort to fight against the Macrons. Now, the thing that's going to be comical is when those other lawsuits come, AKA the lawsuit by Josh Hammer, the lawsuits by hopefully TPUSA, the lawsuits from other outlets that decide to sue her. That's when it's going to get real funny because she's not going to be able to fund all of those, but we're going to see what happens. But hopefully that made sense. And I was thinking about it earlier today. I wanted to show you all that. I think that's what she's doing. I think that's how she got here and why she's going so hard in the paint for Charlie and all of this and spinning all this web, because it generates and fosters a great income that she can use to hold off the Macrons just a little bit longer. Though I think the Macron case is going to go very differently than what she thought. But yeah, it's obscene. Yeah, I mean, we can literally keep a list of like who could probably sue Candace Owens. I mean, I see Phil Lyman, Macrons, of course. There's quite a few of them. That is the biggest. I mean, really, think about it. All of this has been a betrayal of Charlie. Do we get the word betrayal? I already closed out. I closed out my bingo board, y'all. I did. All right, that's a betrayal of Charlie to pay off your debt. That's crazy work. That is some nasty work right there. Wild. Thank you so much for the $2 super. I appreciate you. And that's the biggest betrayal, using Charlie. Like using Charlie. Never, did y'all ever hear her mention his wife? No. What about his parents? No. Did she ever contact them? Like these people at one point probably sat down to dinner with her, probably sat down, broke bread with her, everything like that. And now they're watching her drag their deceased husband, their dead son through the streets to make money to fight against the Macron case because she runs her mouth too much. That's work. That is some nasty work. Look up imprecatory prayers, y'all, if you want to learn. That's what I'm praying. Imprecatory prayers. Like, come on. I think this is interesting. I don't think, wait, hold on. I just saw right here. Somebody said right here. It's interesting. After the Macron trial, if she'll suddenly have a miraculous mental recovery. She's trying to say that she doesn't have a mental issue. So, I mean, she makes a lot of hay about that, which I think is interesting. You know, I'm not crazy. I'm telling you, I'm not crazy. So I don't know if she'll ever fess up that she has an issue. That's what I'm wondering. But, you know, that's a great question. And I mean, you're on the money. I just don't know how it's all going to pan out. What does Phantom say here with the $5? Says this. She is also trying to subvert Charlie Kirk's legacy and memory by calling Charlie Kirk a grifter on Israel and a hypocrite with the hip hop, destroy TPUSA, since she is not on top. That's right on the money. You were right on the target for sure. And I've said this before. If Candace Owens was able to do what TPUSA was doing, she would go do it. She would do it even if she just did it in Nashville. She lives in Nashville. There are schools and colleges right there. Why are you not engaging doing it right there in Nashville? If you could do it, you can't do it. She can't do it. Nobody would want to come and watch her. Nobody would want to come and engage with her. Nobody sees her as somebody who they would want to do. So want to engage with. So that's why she can't do anything but try to tear down TPUSA, because they can do it. In my opinion, TPUSA should really go hard at what Candace can't do. Engage the culture. Engage it in every way possible. Every way possible. Engage the culture and show what Candace can't do. Every way. Put more money into, I hate that she's associated with Blexit, but, and for some reason or other, her name is still on their website with that. I don't have no idea. Maybe there's an agreement, a signing agreement, whatever like that. I have no idea. I hate that her name is still on it, but no, just go hard in the paint and show that we can do this and we don't need Candace to do it. Like, make that very clear. Make that extremely demonstratively clear that we can do this and we don't need Candace Owens at all to make it happen. And I think that's where their strength lies, in my opinion, is taking full advantage of the goodwill that came from Charlie Kirk and making as much of Christ as they can. That's what I think they should do. Arguing with Candace is a moot point. Let her keep saying crazy stuff, and you just be crazy. But we're going to keep doing great things because you can't do them. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much, man, for rocking with us. Her tour was canceled. There was a Blexit tour and that was supposed to happen. And there were some cancellations. That is true. But she's not really associated with them anymore. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why her name is even tied to it. She's not a part of Blexit any longer. And I've talked to people from Blexit and they're like, Candace is not a part of us. So I don't know why her name is there and it's such like that. So it is a little bit confusing. What is going on, man? Thank you so much, man. Straight Talk MB. This is Too Strong. Shout out to you, brother. Grace and peace to you. No problem. We're going to make that happen, brother. Do not worry about that. Shoot me an email, Straight Talk. We're going to make it work. We're going to run it back. We're going to run it back. Maybe we'll do this tomorrow. Straight Talk and Jay Witt doing a live stream watch party for the Candace Owens shenanigans. That would be crazy work. That would be crazy. Gosh, this was so bad, man. Like, I mean, like all of that time spent dragging Mike McCoy for what? All that time spent talking about manifestations and speaking to the universe and the vibes and all of that for what? Like, what were you trying to drag in? Like, what was the point that you wanted to make? Was it to show that Charlie was about vibes and energy? Like, what was it that you wanted there to be? And then, of course, when you actually address a matter like Turning Point USA, oh, yeah, by the way, let me make sure I give y'all that link where Turning Point addresses Candace. I mean, they address the whole Mike McCoy kerfuffle. And I want you to watch that full video because it's super informative. And we watched it on the front end tonight, but I want you to just make sure if you didn't watch it or you tapped in late and whatever like that, make sure you support them as well. They did a great job of explaining it. Why did Candace only talk about literally like the last 30 seconds of it? instead of, I just put it in here. But then she belly aches about taking things out of context, saying that Nathan Livingstone from Milk Bar TV, shout out to him, took her stuff out of context. But she also doesn't tell us about her work history. Like, when did you stop working at Turning Point? When did you start working at Prager? When did you stop working at Prager? When did you move on to Daily Wire? Like, why don't we know that time frame? Because she just makes it sound like, oh, I was at Turning Point. Next thing I was at Prager. Well, what happened? Well, why don't we get to hear that? But we can hear about the military history of the surgeon that may or may not have engaged with Charlie Kirk, or the woman that's a vegetarian. My gosh, you done put that woman, all that stuff out there in public for what? But we don't know about your work history, Candace. Can we know about that? Can we be made aware of that? Does that at all play a role in this? Maybe that's why you don't like Jewish people. Maybe that's it. We just want to throw out some ideas and some speculation. We'd love to hear a little bit more about your work history. Maybe understand a little bit more about why your husband's good friend is a gigolo. Like, how does that work? If he's a devout Catholic, holding up Catholic standards, but his good friend is one that abuses women, that is taking advantage of women. Can we understand maybe why that works? How that works? Because it just seems kind of weird to us, and we don't understand it. But we can understand that there's a lot of military people in Christianity. And we're supposed to look at them with a side eye because there's military people. And instead of saying, hey, you know what? Military people make really good employees. If you have ever hired people, military men and women make good employees. They do a great job. They fit in very well, especially in an order-driven, hierarchical society or a hierarchical work environment. They do very well. Why not say, hey, in this environment, they needed good workers and they got good men or women from military that were doing that. Oh, no. It's got to be all, it's all shady Grady because the people were former military. Not even asking, well, maybe, is it possible that where TPUSA is located, they have a military base? And maybe that might be why they had a lot of people from the Air Force there, or a lot of people from the Marine Corps, Devil Dogs, Go Dogs, whatever. Is that possible? But there's no grace. There's no grace in Candace's understanding. Everything has to be exactly as she sees it. How she sees it is the way that things are. That's crazy work, man. That is absolutely crazy. And I'm sorry, the candies, I know y'all don't like it. Y'all gonna jump in here talking about $7,000 and you sold out for this group and this, that, and the other. Okay, whatever. Explain to me why your girl did not talk about her husband on her sabbatical. Explain that. And I'll show you my Cash App that I do not have $7,000 from any foreign entity. But you explain to me why she didn't talk about her husband. Tell me, did she take her husband on the trip with her, where she went and reminisced about another man? Did she take her kids with her? That's what I want to know. And then we can go on and talk about shekels and getting sold out and all that kind of stuff. We can talk about that. But you just tell me, did your leader, did she take her husband on the trip with her? Like, what is that? There we go. That's what we got. Y'all, thank you so much. Y'all, thank you so much for rocking with me. I think that's a very interesting point, too. And I did catch that. She was talking about homeschooling. She's been doing homeschooling all of a month. She already has offloaded the education to somebody else in 4 weeks. Because she's already talking about another community. The other parent has 2 kids that are a little bit younger than her children. And she said, you just figure it out. To me, it's giving, if you will, that the other parent is doing all the heavy lifting. And Candace is sitting back, running PE class, and she's a lunch lady. That's what it's giving to me. The other mom is doing all the major course load, and Candace is making sure they get their lunch and their snacks. They go down for nap time, and they do PE and art. She probably does art too. That's what I'm getting from it. I could be wrong, but she hasn't proven us anything. That woman asked, or that person asked for curriculum or lesson plans. That wasn't lesson plans or anything. That was just vibes and energy. So I'm just wondering, like, hey, how's that homeschooling working? It just seems odd to me. Susan Q said, Marines will gladly leave Yuma and go to Mesa and do a civilian job. Shout out to the Devil Dogs. All right, I see some good conversation. Lots of good conversation in the chat. Always appreciate the good family reunion and the live chat going on over there. Thank you all to everybody. Yeah, she running. Candace is doing PE class. You know that the other parent is doing the lessons. They're doing the math. They're doing the handwriting. They're doing the art. The drawing, and she's doing probably PE, maybe the art, but she's definitely doing the lunches and the such. You know what? I'm not lying. Prove me wrong. All right, my good people, I wanted to let y'all know I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all, everybody who jumped in. We had almost 900 at a time earlier. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much to our very kind, very gracious supers. Shout out to Bronx Girl, stream sponsor. Thank you so much for sponsoring the chat. Thank you so much for that. I also want to shout out to Jax as well and everybody else who's been donating to the channel. Thank you so very much. I'm working on reconfiguring the studio, and this is going to be helping that. So thank you so much for that, for sure. Thank y'all. Tomorrow, the plan is to Candace Jeopardy. On Thursday, Candace Bingo. On Thursday, we're doing Candace Jeopardy. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be crazy. I got 3 content creators coming. We're going to just have a good time. The questions are out of control. If you tuned in this morning, I went over it, and I'll just do this at the end of the night and go over what we're going to be doing for Candace Jeopardy. Y'all, does he take anything seriously? No, he doesn't take anything seriously. That's the whole point. All right, so here's Candace Jeopardy. We got conspiracies. We got deflections and diversions. We got public feuds. Then we got questionable evidence, personal ambitions. I'm totally making this up. And over here, you can't see it, but it says Candy Rot. And they're just crazy, man. They're bonkers. So anyway, on Thursday, we're just having fun. I don't take Candace seriously. I don't think we're really supposed to be taking her seriously. I believe at this point, Candace is like an IQ test. If you take her seriously, I don't know, you're going to lose some credit score or not get a promotion at your job or something. You're going to get invited to a jury. That's what's going to happen if you take Candace seriously. I think she's an IQ test. Like, really? Do you take her seriously? Oh, here we go. Your HOA is going to fine you for something. I don't know, but most of us here, I think in this best live chat on the internet, we passed the IQ test because we realize Candace is a whole bunch of foolishness, stir-fried foolishness at that. Shout out. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. I'm glad that y'all enjoy it. Thank you so much for the $5 super, Lady Rich, and I appreciate you. What? You got the candies coming soon. The Mega Nights. Wait, you got, really? You think Megyn Kelly's people gonna come for me? Dang, Black Sigma, don't put me in the, don't get me like that. Don't get me like that. Thank you for the $2 super. Oh no, I see one I really gotta talk about right here. Why does she keep trying to discredit the church? That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful question. Thank you, MT, for the $2 super. Because she hates Christians. I know y'all don't like this. I know it. I know it. Come on up here to the front of the church. Come on up here so you can get a hug. Candace is not a Christian. I know. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to do like Dr. Umar. I'm going to say it 3 times. Candace is not a Christian. Candace is not a Christian. She does not, I believe, even though we got Charlie talking about, manifesting stuff and him liking Kanye West, I think once she married George Farmer and really went off the rails into this Catholic sect or cult that she's a part of, I think that's where she fell apart. That's when they fired her. That's why she doesn't talk about when she got let go from TPUSA, because it's going to coincide very quickly with when she married George Farmer. So that's why I don't believe she talks about it. But I digress. She never was a Christian, though. She doesn't care about Christ. She doesn't care about Christ's people. Not a bit. That's it. I mean, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I'm willing to fight it out if I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Show me, as I've asked before, I'll put the bounty out again. Put the bounty out again, Jason. Send me a video clip of Candace talking about the gospel, explaining the gospel, how the gospel impacted her, how the gospel changed her life, how Christ changed her life. Send me that video clip and I will acknowledge it and keep it moving. Show me it. I'll wait. Because, I think you all know exactly what's going to happen. It doesn't exist because Candace is not a Christian. So the reason she discredits the church is because she recognizes the church is where, think about how much Charlie talked about the church and being a member of a church and what Christ did in his own life and what Christ can do in the lives of young men and young women when they get, and then them getting together and building great functioning families. Why would Charlie be against that? See, it doesn't make sense. Shout out to Paula. Thank y'all so much, man. Y'all are blessing the team with a $20 super. No question, no comment, just a pure love of the game. Thank you. I appreciate you. Oh, here comes Black Sigma back again with the $5. The idea of Megyn Kelly is confrontational, is a facade, but that's another show. Really? I don't know much about Megyn. I did a video today because I saw a couple clips and I did a little bit of tertiary research. I thought Megyn was a little bit more solid, but apparently, hearing what y'all are telling me, Megyn is not as solid as I thought. I was giving her solid points that she didn't earn. So she's not going to be able to beat those charges. I'm interested. Y'all got your boy interested. Send me a clip or two or explain Black Sigma. I'll definitely check it out. I do think, and I said that this morning, I do think that the problem is nobody really cares for Candace. Nobody really loves Candace enough to tell Candace the truth. That's it. Nobody loves her. They're afraid of her, and they're afraid of what will happen by them telling her the truth. She's going to lash out at me. She's going to beat me up. She's going to say mean words to me, or she's going to step on my shoes, or she's going to key my car. So they don't tell her the truth that she really needs help, or that she's out of pocket, or that they can't mess with her. And I think that's the problem, in my opinion, that they don't care. People don't care for Candace. I think the people that really care for Candace are the ones that have already called her out and stepped away. I think Charlie called her out and stepped away, or stepped away from her. I don't think he called her out demonstratively, but I think he made it clear that they had broken up. But I think the people that care about Candace have already said, you out of pocket, goodbye. I got to go. And then she burns the bridge, so it looks like they end on a fight. They end on a bad note versus they just called me out and I just didn't want to submit to what they told me. I just didn't want to change. I didn't want to acquiesce to what they said. So that's why we split up. When really, in actuality, they were right. I'm wrong. And I need to make a change. I don't think Candace is willing to do that. And I don't think she's surrounded. I don't think Tucker, I don't think Megyn, I don't think Ian Carroll, fill in the blanks, are willing to tell her the truth. Well, some of them don't know the truth, but I do think Megyn probably does. Tucker, I'm not going to even bet on that. So that's my 2 cents. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. I appreciate y'all. Thank you again for everybody who hung out with us. We did a long stream, but it was fun. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to try to do this again tomorrow. So Lord willing, we will be doing this tomorrow. I think I got another video dropping later on tonight. But if not, I appreciate y'all. We're going to do this again. Hit the like button on the way out the door. Make sure you tip your waiter. If you could, please, if I earned it, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Next month, I'm going to be going crazy because I got a lot of people to watch my videos and they didn't subscribe to your boy. So I'm going to be trying to make that pitch. So if you don't mind, hit the green heart. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Bell notifications, all that good stuff. And Lord willing, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Everybody have a great night. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.